It's time to add some spice to your nooner. Nooner funny. This is the place where big-time guests, bold opinions, and little cute doggies come together. This is Rothman and Ice.
So where's the office back at Division?
Columbus, windows and doors that go beyond.
So where's the office back at Division? Yeah, in the office, baby. Going out.
Yeah, that'll be us about 2:58 this afternoon, screaming into a Memorial Day weekend. Good to have you guys aboard. Rothman and Ice. Iceman out this weekend. Dave Biddle in. My man Bids riding co-pilot today. And the Bake Show at the controls. Good to see you, boys.
Good to see you, AR. Feels like it was just a week ago I saw you at a fantastic comedy show. Oh, because it was.
By the way, let me tell you that. Let's tell the quick story about that. So, anyway, good to see you. We got a nice show for you today. I always do this because I get ahead of myself, but we'll try to dig in a little more on the whole Scottie Scheffler thing. My boy, Dave Shedloski, Golf Digest. Listen, he's on tour with these guys. He knows, he hears things. Was there anything more before the video we haven't seen? We'll ask him at 12:33, so he'll jump on. The Blue Jackets summer of revamping is still kind of in limbo here with the GM search. Supposedly there was the Carolina Hurricane GM in here yesterday for an interview. We'll get that confirmed with our boy Brian Hedger of the Columbus Dispatch at 1:33. And then we'll toss some chin music. We'll go double chin music. We had J-Lew in studio yesterday, so we'll do it again today with him as the guards try to stay hot. I mean, the weirdest thing would be if all of a sudden they took their schedule for granted now and lost to a couple of last-place teams because they're on fire and their schedule is so gettable now for the next several games. So we'll see how much room they can create there. So we'll talk to him at 2:33. Certainly we'll give your Reds a little bit of equal time there and see if they can
There's no need for
actually hang in there.
We're trying to just ignore the Reds.
Yeah. But it is good to see.
Pretending like they don't exist. It's good to see you, my friend.
So last week, Frank Caliendo was in studio, the master of impression. It's honestly, the most amazing thing is the Morgan Freeman voice. I don't know how he does it. He claims that it's not the hardest one for him to do, but I don't get that because I don't know anybody else that can sound exactly like, because I think the whole thing, and I asked Frank this question when he came on, I'm like, a lot of people don't like his impressions. Like Barkley didn't like it for a while, or maybe Barkley did. Madden hated it. And I did get out of him, and I don't think this is, saying, like Jim Rome did not like it, doesn't like it. Still doesn't like it. And so, but my whole point is the only way you're doing an impression technically on anybody is if they have a very distinct voice, right? You're not doing the normal everyday run-of-the-mill voice. There's no way he's going to be able to impersonate me. It wouldn't matter. Or maybe even you. Like, you'd have to have such a distinct, unique voice that it makes sense to try to impersonate. That's just my own personal feeling.
And he talks about the cadence. He breaks it down.
That's true, too.
It's so cool how he almost teaches not that we could do it, but almost he goes through like low-key and almost he did it on your show, too. I watched the whole thing. It was fantastic. I watched it. Yeah, I didn't watch it live. I watched it on Friday before we went to the concert later that night, and it's staggering. And he'll just low-key explain like how to do it, almost like it's just like, all you got to do is get the cadence down, and then you got it. It's like he is so good. And like you and Maddie were doing, he was like reading the LeBron thing, and like he was like rapid fire, and then would change voices
in the middle.
He is. I'm telling you, Anthony, I'm a huge live comedy fan, as are you, and I don't say this lightly because I've seen some legends at Funny Bone. I've never seen Dave Chappelle there, but I've seen some like for example, I've seen Dave Attell there. Yeah. Another Dave. Frank's the best, in my opinion. Yeah. In my opinion.
You and I are obviously big fans, and why wouldn't you? The entertainment factor is huge. So we get in there on Friday night, and I know you're going, and I'm going because I haven't seen my boy Clay Hall since he retired. I saw him at his retirement thing, but I haven't seen him. We were meant to go out to dinner, but he was traveling and all that, so kind of double dated that situation. So we get to the Funny Bone, and it's very cool because, the tables are kind of reserved, but you don't know really where you're sitting. They kind of have you in places. So when Frank was leaving here on Thursday, he said, "Are you coming to the show?" And I said, "Absolutely, I'm coming to the show." And he looked at Dustin, the GM, and said, "Okay, like just make sure they're down in the lower area, whatever." So we show up, and they're walking us to the stage, just the left table of the stage. And I looked back at everybody and said, "I don't think you're going to want to be here." Right. I just think you don't want to be, if you want to be a part of the show, and nobody really did, we're there to see him do the show. So I looked at him, Dustin, and said, hey, can we just move back? He's absolutely, just pick a table. So we picked a table right in the middle, a little back, kind of in the dark, not in that part of the spotlight. So about 5 minutes later, no joke, there's this guy that walks in with two other people, and they walk him to that table that we vacated.
A big guy, probably?
A big guy.
A big cat, maybe?
Yeah, right. So I look at, I go, holy, you know what? It's Katzenmoyer. So I get up and I walk up to Andy and I say, how's it going and everything? You know, listen to the Tailgate Show right here on the Fan. And so Andy and we're talking and we're just trading like whatever pre-summer stories. And I said, have you ever seen Frank? And he says, no. And I said, you know, where's your wife? Oh, she's not feeling well. Oh, I'm here with my sister-in-law and my was it maybe sister and brother-in-law. Can't quite remember. Anyway, so he's sitting there. So it's just the three of them. So we get into the show, and the show's great. And we're a good probably 45 minutes into the hour and 15 he's going to do. And he starts talking to people in the front row, and Andy's one of them. But he's not talking about anything other than, like, it was some part of the act. I can't remember, but it wasn't sports. It wasn't anything like that. And he says, boy, like, you can see in Frank's eye, you must be somebody. Like, you're too big. You're just too much of a presence. There's something about you.
You look like a football player. You look kind of like a football player.
It was kind of like when Arnold Schwarzenegger came to Channel 6 and Clay was interviewing him, and I was standing there, and he looks at Clay and goes, you have a very interesting face. I think I might cast you as Mr. Freeze's assistant, right? All right.
That's awesome.
Like, I feel like Frank was looking at Andy Katzenmoyer and saying, you are somebody. I don't know. So he's like, yeah, you play football. And then he was giving him kind of, oh, where'd you play? And he's like, here. He's like, oh, at the OSU? Is that how you say it? The OSU? And he's like, no, it's and it's Ohio State. You don't and he knew. And Frank was just having fun with him. And then eventually got to, I play for the Patriots and I won a Super Bowl. And then Frank immediately takes his shirt, puts it over his head like a hood, and starts doing his Belichick. So it was great. And I was going to text Frank after the show if it didn't come out who he was and say, hey, by the way, do you know who you were talking to? That was a pretty famous dude here in Columbus, legendary player for Ohio State.
Well, he said it. He said...
Eventually, Andy said his name.
He said, what's your name?
Right. But
Andy
I was going to say, if they never got to it...
Oh, I got you.
And by the way, I didn't think they were going to get to it. So we leave. So the show's there, and you and your beautiful wife and your friends are outside, and we all have a chat. And I think it was your wife or one of your friends that said, that had to be staged.
That was my friend.
Okay, it was your friend.
Right, he was totally wrong.
So, I don't know.
Oh, maybe he's right.
I don't know if he was totally. I think he may have been half right.
Oh.
And I'm not sure. I have to get this confirmed.
Okay. I'm going to lose a big bet now.
I believe that it wasn't staged from Andy's standpoint. I think Andy had no clue that he would. What I'm getting, and I don't know this for a fact. I'll find out. I'm wondering if somebody told Frank, hey, there's an Ohio State football player that's going to be sitting in the front row, just so you know.
And he's like a former famous Ohio State football player.
I'm wondering if they got word to Frank. I never asked him.
My buddy James might have actually got this right, saying it was staged.
I'll confirm.
My wife and I made fun of him the entire way home, saying, of course, James. I hope James is listening. But it wasn't really
staged from Andy's standpoint. He probably knew nothing about it.
I think that's what he meant, is it was staged from Frank's. It was such a good show.
Yeah.
By the way, you want to hear one more quick story about how my day started today?
Plenty of time.
This is great. We love dogs. I thought I was like the biggest dog lover in the world till I met you. There's no beating Anthony. And you know the two dogs that we rescued a couple years ago. Anna and Scooby. Yeah. And you see Scooby. Anna's actually the bigger of the two. Neither one of them are big. Anna weighs like just over 20 pounds. Scooby, maybe 15 at the most. You saw him. I mean, he looks like...
Are they both like somewhat like almost...
They're like
puggly kind of dogs, or no?
They both have a little bit of it's. We actually did the genealogy test.
Not that they aren't good looking. I meant puggly as like pugs and beagles.
No, I knew exactly what you meant. They have a lot. I mean, like both of them have terrier in them.
Okay.
Little Scooby has terrier, Chihuahua, and Pit Bull.
Okay.
I mean, these are like dogs that should not be mating, but whatever. Story for a different day. So Scooby's a little dude.
The heart wants what the heart wants.
Scooby's a little dude, and he's cute, and he likes to snuggle, you know? But, dude, he's a natural-born killer. Last year in my backyard, I cleaned up at least 2 dead rabbits. I remember telling you about one of them. And at first I was like, because he chases them, like, yeah, good luck chasing a rabbit, because they'll outrun you, and then they'll climb up the fence. He's really fast. He can catch them. So lately, we've had a lot of blue jays in our backyard. You can see where this is going.
Flew in from Toronto.
Beautiful Blue Jays. I'm not like a big bird watcher, but seriously, and there's like a lot of them, right? And we've been noticing them over the last few days. So I let the dogs out this morning. And I'm like, what is going on? All of a sudden, Blue Jays are just going crazy, chirping. Scooby killed a Blue Jay.
Yeah.
He killed I texted my wife. She's like, I thought that would be one thing he would never be able to do is actually, because they're always running out there trying to catch birds. I'm telling you, man, this guy is, and then he comes back in. I had to clean up a dead bird, but Scooby comes back in, then he wants to cuddle. I'm like, you just killed a dead bird. We're going to take a little break here, buddy. Because I don't know what to make of it. I love him. He's so smart. But I don't like cleaning up dead rabbits and birds.
No, I'm all for the wildlife, and I certainly don't want that to happen. I know there is a little bit of a prey drive there that you have on your hands.
Yes.
And so we may have to supervise the young man in the backyard a little more than...
Oh, so it's my fault.
Well, I'm just...
He's blaming... I'm trying to get breakfast for my girls, Ryan Baker. My dog's out there killing a blue jay.
You said you don't want this to happen. I'm trying to...
Rothman is blaming me for it.
I'm not blaming you. You asked what should I do about it.
He shouldn't have adopted that dog.
What should we do about this is I think what you were asking there. All right, well... Listen, the kid's going to have to just think about it. Just think things over for a while. On the inside, looking out. We'll see. We'll see if he deserves the right to go back out into the yard as one of your inmates over there. Anyway, it's that's a very pleasant story, but I understand there's a little nature versus nurture thing happening.
Yeah, it's one of those, I'm almost like half impressed and half disappointed. Does that make any sense? Because he's such a little... I don't want to use the word BA, a bad bleep. But like, I don't like cleaning up dead animals in my backyard.
This is very much Ron Burgundy when little Baxter ate the block of cheese. He was like, I'm not even really mad. I'm just kind of impressed. Right?
I'm amazed.
Right. All right. So, and I was going to start the show. You and I went to Caliendo together, so it made sense to retell that story. There's something viral that's going on the internet today. From last night. And, I was debating whether we should play it or not, and we probably will. We'll get to it. Do you know what I'm talking about? A certain game show?
Oh, I thought you were talking about the Scottie Scheffler video.
No.
A certain game show. I don't think so.
That's even better that you haven't heard it. It's even better. So it's possible that I'll play this now. I'm still kind of toying with it. Bake was looking at me. I sent it to him.
We got to do it now.
Yeah, we have to do it now.
There's too much drama.
We won't do it this second, but it's one of those things because Pat Sajak is going to retire soon, right? Like he's pretty close. It's got to be this. Is this it for him? Final season or whatever?
Yeah, I think he's pretty close.
He's going to do one more? Like he's going to do one more, like 24, 25? Then?
No,
it's crazy.
I think he's...
Oh, he's done. He's going to be done?
I mean, he's 77 years old.
Him and Vanna have been doing that since the inception of the show. It's crazy. I was a little kid when those two were doing it, and they're still doing their thing. It's crazy.
It's amazing.
It really is.
And anyway, he's going to be... 78 in October, and I think he's going to retire. And
it looks like June will be his last show.
That's what I thought. Right.
Wow.
So it just makes sense that maybe one of the all-time great bloopers happened to him in his final run here. Not to him, but on the show specifically. Okay. And you want to talk about something that I definitely wasn't staged or done on purpose. Don't look at it. Don't even find it.
I'm not.
Because we'll play it for it. And we'll get into, I want to get your opinion on the Scheffler thing because now the background on the police officer is coming to light and it's making Scheffler look a lot better, even though there is something that's still out there. And the weird part about this, that the charges haven't been dropped. If he does get a court date, it is going to impact the week of the Memorial if he does have to go to that court date. We'll give you all that. We're off and running. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
If you haven't thought about Buckeye football today, I'm sorry to tell you that you're dead. Our condolences. Your home of the Buckeyes, the Fan.
Safe Auto Insurance is now Direct Auto Insurance. What's the difference? Basically, the name. Direct Auto offers savings of up to 25% on state minimum coverage, just like you're used to, which means you never have to make trade-offs when it comes to paying for car insurance. So don't even think about carpooling to work with Talkative Ted. It's time to stop compromising and keep driving with Direct Auto. Get a free quote at directauto.com or call 1-877-GO-DIRECT. Savings vary, terms apply. National General Group, Winston-Salem.
Your Memorial Day weekend haul can be found with one stop at Meijer. Pick up fresh from Meijer 80% lean ground beef family pack for just $2.99 a pound. Plus, buy 5, save $5 on Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce, Breyer's ice cream, and 24-pack Coca-Cola or Pepsi products, plus deposit where applicable. And rev up your savings and earn 50 points per gallon of gas pumped at any Meijer Express through June 1st. Get everything you need for Memorial Day this week at Meijer. Exclusions apply. See all the deals in the Meijer app.
What's up, sandwich heads? Today on Steve-O's Sandwich Reviews, we've got the tips and tricks to the best sandwich order. And it all starts with this little guy right here. Pepsi Zero Sugar. Partial to pastrami, craving a Cubano. Yeah, sounds delicious, but boom! Add the crisp, refreshing taste of Pepsi Zero Sugar and cue the fireworks. Lunch, dinner, or late night, it'll be a sandwich worth celebrating. Trust me, your boy's eaten a lot of sandwiches in his day, and the one thing I can say with absolute fact, every bite is better with Pepsi.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. We believe that every sport should be epic. Every home run, every hit, every inning, every play, from the moments that are legendary to the ones that fly under the radar.
Whether it's a walk-off granny or a base hit to center field, whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. 21 and older, must be present in Ohio. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Common Man and T-Bone are known for many things. And while great radio ain't one of them, shoving food down their gullets is their specialty. Join Man and Bone for Fat Boy Food Tip.
Live at 3 or on the podcast.
Your home for fat. The Fan.
When it comes to getting a new roof, are you confident letting just anyone on the roof of your home? I'm Craig Schottenstein, owner of Schottenstein Roofing. Our team is dedicated to delivering outstanding value on every roof we repair or replace. Whether residential or commercial, Schottenstein Roofing meets the needs of every customer. From roof installation and repair to siding and gutters, you name it, we do it. Call Schottenstein Roofing, 614-321-8888 to schedule your free inspection today. Go to schottensteinroofing.com.
O'Reilly. Check engine light on? Take the guesswork out of your check engine light with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free and provides a report with solutions based on over 650 million vehicle scans verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you need help, we can recommend a shop for you. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Flexible, secure, fun. Oh, and great pay, too. Are you not sure what you want to do for a career? Or are you thinking of changing careers? Being a dental hygienist or dental assistant may be the perfect fit for you and provides all of these perks, plus more. Talk with a dentist in your community or visit ODA.org to learn more. Become a valuable member of the dental team and start helping people love their smile. This message is brought to you by the members of the Ohio Dental Association.
Glow Fiber Business is now in Ohio, and your business is our priority. Glow Fiber delivers reliably fast, custom, and prepackaged internet plans to meet the growing needs of your business. And our dependable 24/7 personal support means your business stays connected. Glow Fiber is here, and we mean business. Find out more at 833-WANT-GLOW or visit glowfiberbusiness.com today. Glow Fiber Business is not available in all areas. Restrictions apply.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Today looks very uneventful. Sunny skies, high 83. Heading into your Saturday, we're looking at a few pop-up showers. Otherwise, expect a dry day, high 82. Sunday should start off dry, but by Sunday afternoon, storms roll in, high 84. I'm Doppler 10 meteorologist Dylan Robichaud on 97.1 The Fan.
Bet365 is the exclusive online sportsbook of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
Always as tender as a well-done steak. This is Rothman and Ice.
So this will be, I think, I'm not sure if tonight is the 8,000th episode of Wheel of Fortune. I read that somewhere, and I think it is tonight. When you hear this, you may not be able to do the show for the rest of the show. You may be just tapping out after this. So as we mentioned, Pat Sajak's 77 years old. He's retiring from Wheel of Fortune. Bake told us in June. So decades as the host. And Ryan Seacrest, I think, is going to succeed him. Or is slated to do it. So there have been some great bloopers in game show history, and this has got to be right up there. Now, it's kind of what should we say with this bag? It's not graphic. It's just kind of a funny answer.
It's just a little edgy.
It's edgy. I would say it's edgy.
I'm entertained.
It's edgy.
You guys have
this is Thursday
suspense
night.
is thick here. I like it.
And so it was the opening. Let me set this up. So it's the opening segment of the show, and they were asked to solve the phrase, the puzzle, which was a phrase, as quickly as possible. I don't watch Wheel of Fortune that much. I wouldn't be very good at this. I would think it's something you have to really train for almost, because when the phrase puzzle is when they just keep popping up letters and then eventually you buzz in and then you get it. So they're giving you hints along the way and who can solve it the fastest. So parts of the phrase were already on the board, right? When this, and don't play it yet, this contestant, Tavares, confidently buzzed in, I'm going to solve the puzzle. So just to do this, it's very difficult to do this on radio. But it's a four-word. It was a four-word phrase. Okay, 4 letters in the first word, 2 in the second, 3 in the third, and 5 in the fourth. All right. The phrase that was on the board. So there was nothing in the first word that was out there yet. So the first 4 letters are blank. The second word has an I, which has 2 words. So most people would say that has to be it, right? Would think if you're doing, or is, something like that, right? The next word, you had the T and the E of the, basically, it's blank. And that could have been tie, of course. See, I'm not good at this. It could have been any of that, right? You could see where you could screw up, right? Because I just said that could be it or is, or it could be tie or the, or whatever you want to say. And then the last one had a B blank blank T with an exclamation point.
Oh, no.
All right? So I think I've set this up fairly correctly. And the best part about this, honestly, may not even be the answer. It may be that I would say 60-ish, 65-year-old woman on the far right, her reaction to what he says. So there are 3 people. Him, there's a woman in the middle as the second contestant, and a woman at the end who's the third. I believe I've set the stage for you and given you the mental theater that you need to consume it.
Our first toss-up is worth $1,000. Category is phrase, and off we go. Tavares.
Right in the butt.
What? No. Blake.
This is the best.
Yeah, that's it, I think, yeah.
Much better answer.
Blake gets $1,000.
Oh my gosh, that is funny.
It's everywhere. It was all over social media last night. It's been everywhere. I don't know whether Tavares is going to get just move away and change his name, or if he's going to be just praised to the end of time.
Just own it. Own it, right? You gotta own it.
I never knew right was a 4-letter word.
Well, it's not even, honestly, it is what he said, but it's the woman on the far right going, what? Yeah,
and then Pat Sajak's like,
I
nope.
know. He's like, no.
And he
Not
didn't crack a smile or anything. He just moved along.
All right. By the way, David tweets me, because you should play the clip from the Newlywed Game. No, I'm not playing the one from the Newlywed Game, David. I know exactly that one. And that one is even much more. No, that one I'm not playing, because this one was almost perfect. Anyway, there you go. It was the most viral of viral things last night. The show I'm going to talk about was on. It was on last night in Columbus. Yeah, right. It was Wheel of Fortune. It's a
you got your
syndicated game show.
Jeopardy, then Wheel of Fortune hour there. Yeah, buddy. By the way, I mean, Ken Jennings, what a great replacement. You'd think, who's going to replace
you?
Alex
Wanted Aaron
Trebek?
Rodgers, you said.
No, I did not.
You said
I thought you wanted Blossom.
Bialik.
You wanted Blossom, and I wanted Aaron. No, I think Ken Jennings, is that not the perfect replacement? He's perfect. He was he was one of the best contestants
Vern
ever.
Cranium. Yeah, absolutely. He's the guy.
We're going to do overs and unders later. Yeah. We can do an over and under on how many people listening know what that Blossom reference means.
You mean percentage-wise?
It would depend on your age, right? I mean,
I think people have heard that show.
People know her now better from How I Met Your...
Big Bang
Theory. But Blossom... I mean,
the other thing I just learned,
she was Blossom
in the 90s, right? That people remember, right? You know, everybody remembers a highly intelligent, spunky teenager. I would say that I just learned, and I didn't know this, and maybe this is true or not. You guys watch Big Bang Theory? You guys big
not
watchers
really.
of that? Bake? You?
I have occasionally, but not much.
I've watched reruns more than I ever watched it when it was on.
So, what is now that it's over? Is young Sheldon the spinoff of him?
Yeah.
As a young, they found a way to, this is when he was growing up? Okay.
Right.
Yep. Yeah, I didn't know that. I always thought young Sheldon, because I didn't watch either one really that much, but I just happened to catch a young Sheldon the other day.
Did you like it?
Yeah, it was, it's all right. But I realized that maybe that was the Sheldon from Big Bang Theory now as an adult man.
Yeah.
Okay.
You put two and two together.
I really did.
Did he say Bazinga at any point?
I don't think so.
I don't watch young Sheldon. I didn't know if he was a Bazinga.
You watch old
back
Sheldon.
Then.
Yeah.
I really haven't
middle-aged Sheldon.
I really haven't seen Big Bang Theory that much.
Well, we have an old Sheldon.
That's why I made the Blossom reference.
Yes.
And Baker immediately is like, "You're too old."
Okay, so this is your description of Blossom for the people out there that don't know. A teenage girl, this is Dave's favorite show. A teenage girl living in a house run by men dreams what life would be like if she lived in a more conventional family. That's the premise.
And her best friend was Kimmy Gibbler.
Youngest of three. She lives with a divorced musician father and a brother and some recovering substance abuser. And the whole thing is just brought into a nice little bow. There you go. Blossom. Check it out. I'm sure you can stream that somewhere.
Thursdays at 8 p.m. on NBC in 1991.
Yes. You probably got the year right. I didn't know. Was it a Thursday night?
I have no idea.
Was that Seinfeld's lead-in?
No, probably not.
Okay.
Probably not.
Seinfeld was riding the tail of this show, Blossom?
Riding Blossom's tail, yes. Okay. He always liked his young girls. What?
All right. This is truly a Friday show. All right. We're going to come back with Dave Shedloski. What really happened outside Valhalla? We've seen video. Is it all true? Is there anything else that we're leaving room for? We'll ask him next. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
We have so many local shows, I can't fit them in a 10-second promo. So let's just say we're live and local all damn day. The Fan.
I'm Scotty Vegas, and I just hit on my biggest win of the year. I called Maxima Concrete to create my ultimate sports driveway, and they delivered better than hitting that huge parlay. The neighbors wondered why I just go out and stare with a big smile at the ground. It's because Maxima Concrete gave me the driveway for all my ultimate pickleball battles, my game-winning basketball shots against the kids, and an area to make memories forever. Maxima Concrete does patios, walkways, driveways, and more. Get your free estimate at maximaconcrete.com.
This is Bob Capace of Worthington Jewelers. We've been creating one-of-a-kind designs for almost 20 years. Our jewelry consultants will help you create your one-of-a-kind design or select from over 1,000 engagement ring options. Shop locally and come see us at Worthington Jewelers, where Columbus gets engaged.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter, and if you've been battling some joint issues, I want to tell you about something that can change your life. It can make you feel better and get you out moving again. It's QC Kinetics. You see, QC Kinetics, they're the nation's leader in regenerative medicine. Well, what does that mean? They're going to use your own body's biologics to help heal you in different areas. The areas that are hurting, the knees, the backs, the hips, the shoulders, they can help improve that without surgeries, without pills, and without downtime. They will improve the pain and get you moving and feeling good again. My dad was a patient there. I've been a patient there. We've been able to move around. It's helped him walk more. It's helped me get back on the track and start running again so I can do the stuff I want to do and pretend that I'm still 20 years old. So take action now and go to qckinetics.com/Columbus or call for a free consult at 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544, and take back your life this spring and be active as you want this summer.
Billiards Plus has everything for the master griller in your house. Come to their showroom, open the lid, and feel the difference in their grills. Professional, top-quality equipment at great prices with a huge selection ready to go home with you. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
Hi, Hi, here are some ways to listen to The Fan. You can download the Fan app or listen at home on your smart speaker or open up the iHeartRadio app or hold your head out the window and hear Common Man scream. Happy listening from the Dopes at The Fan.
Looking to sell your home? Don't pay 6% commission. Call my guys at Sell for 1% Realtors. They're full service, not a do-it-yourself kind of thing. On average, customers save over $10,000. Give them a call, 614-451-6616. That's 451-6616.
The delicious ice-cold taste of Dr. Pepper has a lasting effect on people. Lindsay from Sacramento said,
Pro tip, 40 degrees is the perfect temperature for an ice-cold Dr. Pepper.
why is 40 degrees the perfect temperature for Dr. Pepper? We brought in Sue from Duluth, Minnesota to tell us.
Oh, yeah, I know a thing or two about cold. Oh, that right there is the perfect kind of ice cold for Dr. Pepper. I'd share that with my friend Nancy. She likes Dr. Pepper, too, you know. My coldest...
All right, that'll be all, Sue. Having a perfect temperature for your Dr. Pepper? It's a Pepper thing. Inspired by real fan posts.
How can you reach your weight loss goals by the 4th? Simple. Make a Bacon 180 with Awaken 180. Bacon's on the table. Burgers, lobsters, you name it. Don't sacrifice the summer avoiding what you love. Make a Bacon 180 at awaken180weightloss.com.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
Free is key during Craftsman Days at Lowe's. Right now, get one free Select V20 tool when you buy a Select Battery 2-pack. Plus, get your choice of a V20 drill or impact driver kit for $69. Don't miss your chance to save on the high-quality, high-performance tools you need during Craftsman Days. Because Lowe's knows tools. Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid through 6/19. While supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
True to his name, Matty Ice wears a winter coat in the middle of summer. He lives the gimmick, man. You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
All right, the Scottie Scheffler story is still percolating because it's still going on, technically. He commits to the Memorial yesterday, and if the dates hold, I think his arraignment would be June 3rd, which would be the Monday of the practice round of the Memorial. Doesn't mean he would have to be here, but if this still goes, maybe he'll have to be there in Louisville. We'll find out. My man Dave Shedloski tours with his guys. He knows the ins and outs of the tour and how this is reverberated amongst the guys, and he's with us now, Golf Digest and golfdigest.com. Shed, good to have you back, my man.
Well, thanks, Anthony.
All right, so everyone's got an opinion on this. Now that the video's out, and it looks like that Scheffler was kind of slowly crawling to the entrance until that police officer ran over there and smacked the window, and they brought in other guys and got him out of the car and handcuffed him. I don't like to be the guy that says that this is 100% exonerates everything. Maybe something happened prior to this video starting. I don't know. What do you believe happened?
Well, that was my first thought was what haven't we seen in the video? What preceded the poll cam footage that we saw? And frankly, I don't really know how to make a judgment on it other than to say that it kind of looks like, I mean, there was a report early on that he, sped off down the road and whatever, and we don't see him speeding off. And then there's that other footage of the officer later on showing that, oh, look, he's, it was the dash cam video of him showing that he ripped his pants. He's showing the other officers, and it's like, wait a minute, they said this guy had to go to the hospital, that he needed to be treated. He's just standing there showing the other guys, oh, look, I ripped my pants, and I mean, if you hurt his wrist, it was from, as you said, smashing the windshield. Look, I'm a big supporter of law enforcement, but this just doesn't smell right, Anthony. I just can't get my head around the fact that it's just got a bad, I don't know, it's a bad feel.
I'm with you, Dave. And, if we just had that grainy video, it might be one thing. But here's what puts it over the top for me. Jeff Darlington, I can't imagine he would lie about it. He was right there. He said from the get and kept with it that the cop attached himself to the car. There was nothing about the cop getting dragged. It definitely feels like he lied. The cop lied in his official police report. And I'm with you. I'm on Team Blue, not in football, but overall, not in football. But in every field, there are bad actors. And I feel like this guy lied on the police report because we have Jeff Darlington saying that. We have Bob Wischusen, who stayed in the van, reporting the exact same thing as Jeff Darlington. Mm-hmm. And now we have the video, albeit grainy, that backs up the reporting of Jeff Darlington and Bob Wischusen.
Yeah, we do. And I just find it hard to believe in a city as crime-ridden as Louisville. I mean, I'd looked it up. It's 200% more crimes than the national average in Louisville, that you're going to haul to jail a professional golfer who maybe misunderstood some traffic directions. I mean, is that what we're talking about here? And you're going to haul him off to jail? I mean, it seems like these guys have a lot better things to be doing, and that's where I come down on. Why are we even talking about this? It's unfortunate.
Yeah, well, listen, the whole thing was heightened by, if you see the video, by the way, you can see the fire trucks there. You can see there was a fatality. You can see that the situation was certainly heightened emotionally. Yeah. And there is some certain parts of it that we don't know. The only thing, and I didn't jump to conclusion the first time around, and I won't this time around. I do feel, and I said this yesterday, that it does look like that certainly this police officer was just hell-bent on saying, you can't go there, and if I told you to, you'll go when I tell you can go, and if you felt like you did it on your own, then that's it. It's on, and I got you. And maybe it was that moment for that cop. I don't know. But here we are, and Scottie Scheffler commits to the memorial. Presumably, like I said, he'll be here unless he has to go to court that day. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I really don't know, because that would be June 3rd. We'll see. And then the tournament here would start on the 6th. Let me ask you about that week, because he goes out and shoots that great round, and then he has the 73 on Saturday that broke that streak of 42 straight rounds on tour of par or better. Are you in the camp of what if? Do you believe that if this never happens, he wins the PGA? I know it's impossible for you to say, but how much do you think when he got to Saturday, he finally did hit a wall?
I think that's exactly what happened. There were a lot of us talking on Friday saying, well, now let's see that, the adrenaline wears off where he comes down on what he shoots on Saturday. And sure enough, he crashed. He crashed emotionally. He crashed in terms of energy level. And, I'm definitely in that camp of, geez, if this never happened, are we talking about going for the third leg of the Grand Slam the week after the Memorial at the U.S. Open at Pinehurst? I definitely think that he would have certainly been in the conversation with Xander and Bryson and Victor Hovland, the defending winner of the Memorial. I have no doubt about that, because then he came back Sunday, even though he didn't really, you could tell he kind of lost interest a little bit. It's like, yeah, I'm kind of out of this. He still shoots 66 the last day. So, turn that 73 into something else, and I bet he's kind of hanging around.
Dave, Scottie's been so amazing over the last few years. Do we think this is sustainable? The reason I ask you that, we've seen guys like Jordan Spieth, just not, he's still a very good golfer, but I was thinking Spieth might get 10 majors. That's not happening. Rory McIlroy, another one. I thought, he might reach 10 majors. That's not happening. Anthony always knew that wasn't happening. Is Scottie going to be the exception to that rule?
Well, if I look at just the way he strikes the ball, then I say yeah, because it's in the category of Tiger type effort. I'm not saying he's Tiger. I'm not saying he's good as Tiger, but he sort of reminds us of it in terms of, like, last year. Look at last year's Memorial. His strokes gained at the Memorial Tournament last year for the week was 17 shots, and if he'd putted it all, he'd have won by 5. It wasn't even going to be close. He finally discovered his putting touch this year, and what does he do? He wins 4 times, and the Masters, and comes back and wins the Players. I think this is sustainable, because I think that he does have very, very strong pieces. Okay, Jordan, you can look at Jordan, you can look at JT, you can look at Rory. They all have flaws. Scottie's flaw is putting, and he fixed it. So I think that if he continues along this path, I think that He's definitely a threat at the U.S. Open. He's definitely a threat at the I thought he had a good chance to win the Grand Slam this year. I know it sounds silly, but I really was thinking, oh, gosh, where would he lose among the four majors?
It took an arrest.
It took an arrest. It was an arresting development.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Dave Shedloski with us, golfdigest.com. All right, give me, let's do the final minute here with Dave on where golf stands right now. It was almost a year ago, right? We thought there was going to be a merger. And it was like, all right, everybody's in the same pot now. They're all going to go back to playing together and all the money for everybody. And it doesn't matter whether you sign with Liv or not, you're going to get paid. And it doesn't seem like we're there yet. And I don't even know if we're going to get there. What do you think?
I'm not sure we're going to get there either. The guys that are talking publicly, being the players who are on the policy board, they're largely not really saying much, and when they are, they're not really kind of saying the right things that would suggest some kind of an agreement on things. When you have guys like Jordan saying at Pebble Beach this year, oh, we don't really need, the public investment fund now, which of course is the funding behind Live Golf. I don't know. I think there's some hard feelings. I like Patrick Harrington's idea. I think if you find a way to allow these guys to, pick 2, 3, 4 tournaments that they want to stay on Live to play PGA Tour events, and that's it. And these other guys, if they could figure out a way to play a couple Live events, and then, you still just have 2 separate tours like you have a European tour and everything else.
All right, my man. We will see you very soon in Dublin. Thanks for taking time for us.
I look forward to seeing you guys.
Yeah.
Take care.
Appreciate you. Dave Shedloski, Golf Digest, golfdigest.com, and the Bryan Heating Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. It is a wild time because Scheffler, and by the way, I think he shaved the beard. Maybe he didn't like the mugshot.
Well, they said that, he wanted to look good for the judge. Oh. It's like, listen, man, we were talking about this on the money. I wish we could bet on whether the charges will get dropped. I would bet heavy charges will get dropped. Will get dropped. I know the lawyer came out there and said, guess what? There's not going to be any deal here. We're either taking this to trial or the charges will be dropped. Period. Yeah. I would bet heavy, which for me is at least a Hamilton. I'm talking $10,
all right,
baby.
Hamilton.
I'm telling you right now, I bet at least a Hamilton, those charges will get dropped. Now, if Ryan Baker's betting, we're talking at least probably $10K.
I would think that if they pled it down to disobeyed a traffic command.
Not when you lie in the police report.
I'm probably not. I'm just saying to make it all go away, everything else, if he admits that maybe the guy did say stop and I went. But if he didn't, if he did nothing wrong.
I don't know. I don't think they're going to go back on that. I think the lawyers just laid it down. Here's the line. Right. It's either going to get dropped or we'll see you in court.
All I'm pointing out is he shaved the beard, which won him 2 PGA tournaments. Wrong decision? Who knows? I don't know.
It'll grow back.
We'll find out. Yes. After the court date, I guess. Overs and unders next. Play along. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
Your morning just got beefier. Morning Juice with Beamer, Bobby, and Shark.
Weekdays from 6 to 9.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Every so often, you'll find a store that's so different, so unique, so out of the ordinary that you make it a habit to go there. Oakland Nursery has 2 of those stores, the home store in Dublin and Inside and Out in New Albany. Both are bursting at the seams with unique, hard-to-find items. Oakland Nursery's specialty stores are 2 unique shopping experiences for eclectic home decor and garden art. Love your home by finding inspiration at the Oakland Specialty Stores, the home store in Dublin and Inside and Out in New Albany, part of the Oakland Nursery experience.
You know that project you've been working on? Just chipping away at it, dreaming of the day you get to show it off? Then, when you're least expecting it, cancer. And finishing that project actually happens. I would know. I've been restoring this car for years, and today I'm giving it to my granddaughter. It's her 16th birthday and 2 years since my cancer diagnosis.
Mom, you finished it?
Happy birthday, boo-boo. You keep making plans.
Visit ohiohealth.com/keepmakingplans to learn more.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. You probably heard me talk about Dr. Mark Levy's custom-fit oral appliances to help treat sleep apnea and how they are so much better than using those bulky, uncomfortable CPAP machines. Well, I've been talking about it for years, and the FDA just recently announced a recall of over 18 million CPAP masks. Yikes! These CPAP masks, the ones with magnetic headgear clips, can potentially interfere with certain medical devices. Pacemakers, implantable defibrillators, neurostimulators, aneurysm clips. And if that happens, that can cause injuries not only to yourself if you use these masks, but also your partner as well. Sleep apnea is no joke, and as I've been saying, it affects everyone in the home. So if you've been diagnosed with sleep apnea and you can't tolerate your CPAP machine anymore, or, just flat out worried it could possibly do harm to you, that sort of thing, call Dr. Mark Levy today for your custom oral appliance at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. That's right, Dr. Mark Levy, 1-800-MORE-SLEEP, or book an appointment online at sleepbettercolumbus.com.
Do you subscribe to the Fans YouTube channel? Well, why not? Catch our best interview, Stupid Man and Bone videos, and live video of our shows as they happen.
You can participate in your neighborhood watch.
Search 971 The Fan and subscribe today.
Safe Auto Insurance is now Direct Auto Insurance. What's the difference? Basically, the name. Direct Auto offers savings of up to 25% on state minimum coverage, just like you're used to, which means you never have to make trade-offs when it comes to paying for car insurance. So don't even think about carpooling to work with Talkative Ted. It's time to stop compromising and keep driving with Direct Auto. Get a free quote at directauto.com or call 1-877-GO-DIRECT. Savings vary, terms apply. National General Group, Winston-Salem.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential. But finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Want to know anything about the Fans contest, how to win, or what's up for grabs? Check out 971thefan.com. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Rothman and Ice presents Overs and Unders.
All right, Bake Show. Did CB leave our records from... If we won, he probably did, and if we lost, he probably did.
Yeah, he actually did leave them, and it was a good week for you and Maddie both. You both went 4-2 last week in the overs and unders, so we'll see how you and Bids do this week.
All right.
It's profitable.
Game 2 of the NBA's Western Conference Finals tonight. Anthony Edwards, not such a great game in game number 1. He only had 19 points. For the playoffs, though, he's averaging 28.1. So we're going to go over or under 27.5 points for Ant-Man tonight.
Listen, he can certainly do that. He's a guy that can go 40-plus. They're definitely going to need this. They absolutely have to have the game. He hasn't done this since games 1 and 4, I think, against Denver. So there have been a handful of games where he has not gotten to 28. I just feel like he's going to have to be a star tonight. Like, they just have to have it. And so get him the volume he needs. I'm going to take the over, even though he hasn't done this in a little bit.
I'm also taking the over. He's due. Not only did he not have a good game 1, he had a bad game 7 against the Nuggets. It was just his teammates stepped up. He had 16 points on 24 shots. Okay? So he has had 2 bad games in a row. Guess who's not having 3 bad games in a row? Anthony Edwards. If the over-under was 29.5, I would still take the over. I think he's going for 30 tonight or more. So give me the over.
Go do a milestone bet. Take him for 30.
There you go.
Well, what are you going to put on that, Bids?
All right,
I'll have to figure out on one of my, at least. I mean, you guys know how I roll. $10 strong, baby.
That's all.
I might even put 10 on 2 different sites, so that equals like 20. You
might really open it up.
It's a freaky Friday.
I'm just like Scottie Vegas.
Let's get crazy.
I'm just like Scottie Vegas, minus a few zeros at the end there, right?
CB, by the way, CB cashes out on bets that he'll bet like $5 on something. He'll see it's going down the tubes. He'll see a cash out at like $2.48, and he'll take it. It's all right.
Hey.
Live to fight another day, I guess.
Cut your losses.
Yeah.
Some money's better than no money. What's not good at all is the Reds' offense bids. Our team has just been struggling. Outside of the White Sox, I think they're the
like
worst.
Joe Namath.
Struggling. Outside of the White Sox, I think the Reds have the worst offense in all of baseball. Last weekend when they played the Dodgers, they scored 12 runs in 4 games. They've got 3 games against the Dodgers starting tonight. 9.5 runs for the Reds, over or under this weekend against the Dodgers.
Under. And I love that now that we're in this huge slump, we get to play the Dodgers again. My God. I mean, the Reds are a disaster. Under.
Yeah, I think it's Paxton, Buehler, and Yamamoto. And they're batting 215. So for them this is 3 games we're talking about.
3 games.
3 games over under 9.5 runs. I think I got to go with what's going on right now and take the under on that.
Seems to be the safe bet when you're talking Reds baseball. Bang the unders. Rothman, I think the player I miss the most for the Blue Jackets of all time is Artemi Panarin. Every time I see him skate, it just hurts my heart that he's no longer here with the Jackets. He had a rough opening game of the Eastern Conference Finals.
They all did.
He was -3, no points on the board. Will he have a breakout tonight? Artemi Panarin, over or under 1.5 points?
He went over this 3 times against the Canes. So obviously we know he's there. And I know why you miss him, because you miss 1.5 a game. That's what you miss. In the regular season, so you said a 1.5. That's funny because I think that's right around his average this year. I think he had 120 points because it was an even number. You divide that by 80, 82 games, and there you're probably at 1.5 a game. I would say the difference is that goalie Bob is on it, man. Now, I know they're home. They got to have it. I'll probably put them in pressure cooker here at 120. Little hint there. I'm going to take the under on this because it's versus Bob, and he's on it right now. And this would be a real nice night for him with 2 points. But, boy, there are a team averaging like 3.5 goals a game. I'm going to take the under. I think it's a little safer. A point, yes. 2, I'm not going to do it.
I'm also taking the under. I do find it fascinating that it's Breadman and goalie Bob facing off against each other. Arguably the 2 best players to ever play for the Blue Jackets. Not as far as longevity, especially Panarin only being here for 2 years. But you want to talk about the best goalie in franchise history? No doubt it's Bob. And I think you can make the argument that, Rick Nash was fantastic, and the longevity, but I would take Panarin in his prime over Rick Nash in his prime. And I know they're not the same player, but I think Panarin overall was a better player than Rick Nash.
The Celtics, they're out to a 2-0 lead in the Eastern Conference Finals. Tyler Halliburton, arguably the Pacers' best player, he's dealing with a hamstring injury. Over under 4.5 games in this Pacers-Celtics series.
I'm going to take the over. I don't think the Halliburton injury, that's a killer.
That is a killer.
And that would have sweep written all over it. I said the other day, I don't think, after game 1, I certainly didn't think they were going to get swept. But now that the hammy or whatever he's got going, I just feel like they're going to scratch one out at home somehow. The Celtics have been historical right now at taking 1 game off in the series. It should have been game 1 that they lost. They didn't. All right, I'll bet against no sweep, but this is all based on health now, and I could be in trouble on that. But I'll say no sweep.
I hate to keep agreeing with you. I'm also going to take the over. I'll go with the gentleman's sweep, as they call it. I love that phrase, a 5-game series. Yeah. I'll say, just like Anthony said, I think the Pacers are somehow going to scratch out a win. I won't be shocked if it's a sweep, but I'll say the Pacers win 1 game.
The Crew takes on Orlando City on Saturday night. The last 5 games between these 2 teams, there has been an average of 3.6 goals a game. That's in the last 5. Now, there was one in there where there was 7 scored in one of those games that raised that average a little bit. Over under 3.5 goals Saturday night.
I'll go over. The Crew have not been quite the scoring demons they were last year, but they still are very talented. Now, they've been great in the non-MLS games they've played in the CONCACAF Champions League or Champions Cup, but I think they're going to, especially playing at home at the Death Star, as Beamer calls it, I think they're going to score 3 and Orlando will get 1. Crew 3-1. That hits the over.
Boy, that's interesting because history tells you they're going to score a lot of goals, and you think you'd get 4 in this game, 3-1, 2-2, some kind of game like that. But
it's soccer, so it could be 0-0.
It's right on there.
I like the Crew
I'll tell you
a lot.
what, to be opposite, because I do know the history of the Orlando and Crew, and there have been a lot of goals. You can go back even more games than 5, Bacon. I think they're averaging out to 4 goals a game, but I am going to take the under in that. Maybe they just blank them.
Bids, real quick, I don't think this will change your answer, but this is not
Road.
at lower.com.
Yeah.
This one's on the road Saturday night.
They've won 2 straight road games, the Crew have. So Road Warriors are going to do it again. There you go. We're going to take the Death Star south.
Babs, don't let a little fact on where they're playing affect this.
No.
And then the last one on this Friday, going to be a little stormy this weekend, it looks like.
Daniels?
High temperature of the weekend, over under 86.
I just didn't know what you were thinking, Bake. I just didn't know where you were going.
Speaking of, wasn't she arrested when she came to Columbus or something?
All I know is when Ryan Baker says it's going to be a little stormy this weekend, we're just not so sure what he's talking about. And mostly it's probably not about the weather.
Do we need to play the Wheel of Fortune clip again?
No, please don't.
I think we do, actually. Because what if people haven't heard it yet? If you're driving out there and you haven't been listening to the entire show, I think you need to hear this clip.
All right, so what's the number again?
86.5, over under.
And this is for
anytime this weekend, I guess.
Now, does Memorial Day? Nah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'm going under. Jerry March just texted me and said go under. No, he didn't do that.
Sometimes I spell Jerry with a G and an I. I'm going to go with the under as well. I think he just said it was going to be stormy. I think that'll.
Jerry said that?
Well, and Baker.
Baker also a meteorologist.
Hail, damaging winds.
Baker does everything. Right, produces.
I think he predicted
hosts.
Locusts.
He has a job where it's like a construction. What do you do? Like construction? You do high school radio?
Listen, if people will pay me, I'll do it.
Wow.
Yeah, baby.
All right. We will come back. You got our answers logged over there, Bake?
I got them written down.
Nice.
They're ready to go to the boat, man.
All right. We'll come back. Sports Center update here at top of the hour. Speaking of the NBA playoffs, will somebody win this or only somebody lose it? One analyst says it's the latter. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
Tweet from a listener. Are you carrying the Buckeye game today? Considering we've never not carried one, yes. The answer is yes. The Fan.
Men, this is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health. And though I generally talk about medicine and effective treatments for erectile dysfunction and other men's sexual health issues, today I want to talk about love. Because love is the best reason to get treated for your ED. You see, ED can cause major relationship issues. In fact, men often push their partners away when ED becomes a problem. The condition can cause depression, arguments, breakups, and even contribute to divorce. But the good news is that if you're like most men suffering with ED, you can be successfully treated at Tri-State Men's Health and put a stop to the relationship stresses that ED can cause. I say this with all confidence because we have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases. Truly, it's likely you'll find you're performing like you haven't in years. So make an appointment and get the love back in your life. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com. We have 6 offices across the tri-state area to serve you.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter, and when I was looking to get a new roof on my home, I wanted a company with staying power, a company that had been in business for more than 30 years, built on the principles of honesty, integrity, and transparency. Well, there was nowhere else to go than Newman Roofing. 32 years later, and hundreds of 5-star reviews from customers that have been blown away with the service that they've received. Some of the customers now, well, they've been around so long, they're getting their second Newman roof, and that speaks to the quality and the way Tim and his team do things. During a time where service is lacking in the service industry, companies like Newman Roofing are leading the way, providing white glove experience to all of their customers, just like they did to me and my family. So when it comes time to get your roof replaced, you're going to want to go with a company you can trust, and that's Newman Roofing. Don't just get a roof, get a Newman roof. Call 614-NEW-ROOF or go visit them online at newmanroofing.com. That's newmanroofing.com.
Last year's RV trip, we met a couple with the same bumper sticker. What are the odds?
Your cousin isn't a good storyteller.
He was a podiatrist, or was it a pharmacist?
You don't say.
Oh, I can't remember.
But she owns an RV protected by Progressive, and you don't. So until you get your own RV, her stories are the most interesting stories you've ever heard.
Wow, interesting.
And when you do get your own RV, save money by bundling it with your home, auto, or other vehicles with Progressive.
Oh, anesthesiologist. He was an anesthesiologist.
Progressive
That's
Casualty
right.
Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Seasons change. Why not your tech? Upgrade now during the Dell Technologies Summer Sale event and save on select PCs like the XPS 16 powered by Intel Core processors. You'll be able to bring your most intensive projects to life with built-in AI, minimalistic design, immersive visuals, and cinematic audio. When you shop online at Dell.com/deals, you'll have access to exceptional tech and electronics plus free shipping on everything. Amazing prices await you for a limited time only at Dell.com/deals. That's Dell.com/deals.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
And I'm Timmy Hall. Yesterday was a landmark day in sports. It's been brewing for most of this century, and now college athletes are going to get paid. The NCAA and the Power 5 conferences will pay more than $2.7 billion in an antitrust settlement. They'll pay it over a 10-year period to past and current athletes. This also brings about a system for schools to directly pay players for the first time ever. A new revenue-sharing plan will allow a school to share up to $20 million per year with its athletes. To the NBA tonight, Game 2 of the Western Conference Finals. T-Wolves host the Mavericks. Dallas won the first game. 8:30 tip and coverage right here after the Buckeye show at 8. Baseball, Reds host the Dodgers at 7:10 tonight. That'll start a 3-game set. And the Guardians are on the road at the Angels at 9:38. And the famous Savannah Bananas are at Huntington Park tonight. 3 straight days they're going to be there. Breaking sports news on The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Dog friendly. And if you ain't down with that, this is Rothman and Ice.
Second hour of the program. Timmy on the update desk for us today. Bake at the controls. Dave Biddle to my right. Rothman and Ice. Happy you're joining us for the start of the Memorial Day weekend. We'll have Brian Hedger on, who covers the Blue Jackets. Are they going after Hurricanes president GM Don Waddell to lead their front office? He'll tell us what he knows so far at 1:33. We'll do a little pressure cooker at 1:20. Throw some teams and players into the pot and stir it up for you. I thought there was a funny moment. First of all, a little bit of, I don't know if it's controversy, but when Halliburton went down for the Pacers, Carlisle said, I'm emptying my bench. It's over. And I know, so there were, I think Alex Hahn at ESPN this morning really took him to task for doing that you basically bailed out. In NBA, anything can happen kind of deal, but he is trying to manage minutes now going forward. He knows better than anybody where Halliburton's injury is. And if he's going to have to count on other guys and manage minutes, then maybe it was right to kind of throw that thing away at the end in the last 90 seconds and just say it's over. We're down 16. We're down 17. We're not going to shoot our way back into this. It is weird in the playoffs, right? Usually you're like, we never shut it down, ever. Like, you just don't.
Especially in the NBA where you can score in bunches. Yeah.
But he's done a really good job, I think, in the playoffs so far. He went after the refs. It paid off in the series with New York. He wound up winning. I know that the big knock on the Pacers would be, they took out a team that didn't have Giannis, and they took out a team that lost Brunson late in the fourth quarter, broke his hand. But they still did win a Game 7 on the road. And here they are, and they played right with Boston in Game 1. And they blew it. They panicked at the end. Young team. They have a lot of firepower. They can win games. They can score. Boston's a really good defensive team, and they've put up 128, 110 against them. Now, they're both L's, but they can score. And Siakam can certainly put the ball in the basket, but if they lose Halliburton, they're in big trouble. And now they're down 0-2. You and I hope that they'll at least scratch something out. I'm kind of rooting for them to hang in the series here. Boston, everything they threw up last night went in, it felt like. Especially at the end and I think a coach realized that. I think he thought that they were just not coming back. They wound up losing by 16. I'd have to go through the play-by-play to really identify where exactly they were, because I did stay up to watch the game. I did not stay up to finish the hockey game, though, Bake. I got to admit that. I don't know when it ended real early in second overtime. I should have stayed up for it because it was in the first minute that Connor scored and won that game. Do you remember what time the game ended last night?
I didn't stay up for it either.
Had to be at least midnight, yeah. So anyway, back to the NBA, and I was going to tell you, we'll do the math on this. With 3 minutes left, They were down 16. All right. So let's go to a minute and a half when I think he just kind of emptied everything out. They were down.
We're not talking about like half of the fourth quarter. We're talking about a minute and a half of the game. Okay, yeah.
They were down. Yeah, they were with a minute and a half to go before.
That's understandable.
With a minute and a half to go, Doug McDermott missed a 9-footer, and they were down. And now he's already got the guys in there, Shepard, McDermott. Like they're down 18. Like at that point, you're like, okay, mail it in. It's time.
We can't get another guy hurt. Now you could make the argument you're not going to win this series anyway. You might as well like go for broke here, because if you just go down 2-0, are you really going to come back and win this series? But I think that's a no-win situation. I think, if you go for broke there and you go for the win, you have like maybe a 1% chance of winning, then maybe you get somebody else hurt.
Let me see.
But you could make the argument like you might as well go for it, because if you get down 2-0, you're not going to win the series anyway.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I don't think it was just with 90 seconds left. Halliburton got hurt early in the fourth quarter, so he had the leg soreness, and they kind of acknowledged that. So it looked like he was one of 3 starters who never touched the floor in the fourth quarter. So that's pretty big. That's Nesmith. That's Miles Turner. They sat out the entire period. So that's the part of the story I left out for you. But the problem is Turner had 3 fouls and Naismith had 4. So maybe he was just kind of managing them at the beginning of the deal. And then when the game kind of got out of reach, there was no sense anymore. So he probably was managing the foul situation early. And so that's kind of where it stands. The comment I wanted to play for you was from Kenny Smith, who was talking about the narrative of what's going on in the NBA playoffs right now with a new guard. And he kind of threw water on it, in that if Indiana wins it all, if Indiana were to win it all, or even Boston winning it all, that the 2 biggest names that are left, I mean, I certainly think Tatum is up there, and even Jaylen Brown, but he believes that the 2 biggest players left star-wise are Anthony Edwards and Luka, and that if whoever gets to the final, whether it's Minnesota or Dallas, and they don't win it, it won't be about the other team beating them. It'll be about those 2 guys lost. Here's the comment.
And I want to switch gears just a little bit, Ernie, in this, where, and no disrespect to Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and or Halliburton, but whoever wins this series, the face of the league is coming out. They have the 2 most polarizing guys, with Luka Doncic and Anthony Edwards. So now, if they get to the finals, it won't be they won or lost. So it wouldn't be Boston won, it would be Luka lost. It wouldn't be Boston won, it would, or Indiana won, it would be Ant-Man lost. So this is something different to me to watch from a fan standpoint, not an analyst, but a fan who comes out and be the face of the NBA moving forward. Wow, that was one of the dumbest things I've ever heard.
I love Barkley. Oh my God, that's one of the dumbest things I've ever heard. I tell you what, I hear where he's coming from. Here's the difference. It's not true when you're going to be facing a 64-win team.
Not against Boston.
You're not playing some team that snuck their way into the finals. Was it like the 99 Knicks that had like a 500 record or something and got to the finals as like an 8 seed? We're talking about the team in the NBA with the most wins. Now, is the Eastern Conference weaker than the Western Conference? Of course it is. We all know that. But no, we would not look back on this as, no, if they choked, that might be one thing. But assuming they play relatively well, Ant-Man or Luka, and they lose to the Celtics, who probably will have Porzingis back by then, I certainly won't be like, oh, this is all... this is Ant-Man losing. This wasn't the Celtics winning. It's like, no, the Celtics are a really good team. They're the favorite to win the NBA championship right now.
Yeah. First of all, when Chuck sounds like the rational one, then maybe you probably know your take is maybe a hair off. This is not a colossal... Well, I don't know if it's a colossal failure if Boston doesn't win the championship. I don't know if I view them as a super team, but you're right. They were that good. And when they start shooting, they're impossible to stop. I don't know if he's stirring up a little controversy. He started that, no disrespect. And anytime you start a phrase with no disrespect, you probably mean a little disrespect.
Hey, no offense, Anthony, but I'm definitely going to offend you.
Here's the other thing. Ant-Man's great. You know, he had a hot month. I don't know if he's the face of the league. I could go to Kroger right now and probably show a picture of him out of uniform to 100 people, and maybe one would say, I know who that is. And if I just say the name Anthony Edwards, they might say, wait, the actor? Like, I'm not really sure. Luka might have a little more there. Jason Tatum, I think, is much more recognizable than Anthony Edwards right now.
Probably LeBron's still the face of the league, right?
Yeah.
Would we agree on that?
Well,
LeBron is, even at his, what is he, 39? It's crazy. His longevity, and I'm a Jordan guy, as you know, and I will always be. But LeBron's career period, fantastic. LeBron's longevity is just crazy. He's not playing quarterback, where they, you can't really hit the quarterback anymore. That's why quarterbacks are playing in their 40s now, like it's nothing. He's playing basketball. I mean, that's tough, and there hasn't been that much drop-off. But, yeah, probably so. LeBron, Steph are probably the faces of the NBA right now. Yeah. You're right. Anthony Edwards is not. I think eventually he will be.
Yeah, I mean, and listen, LeBron's one of the most famous athletes in the world, so clearly he's going to be very recognizable. But it's one of those things that he was changing the narrative, and I think maybe this is Boston's in a bad spot because Boston has the history. And you've got Minnesota and Indiana and Dallas certainly has a history with Dirk and all that. Like, there is history there. But Boston's Boston. And I feel like that if the Celtics win, it was probably inevitable. They're supposed to win. They're the best team. If they lose, then Kenny's not that wrong. His take wasn't as off as I think people are trying to say because Luka for sure. I think it was a little off with the Anthony Edwards because basketball is still a team game. If Minnesota gets to the final and loses against Boston, of course it's not going to be about that Anthony Edwards lost. It will
Unless he plays terrible.
It'll be that Boston finally did it with these guys. Like, that's what it'll be. So he is wrong there, and that's why Barkley went over the top, but that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Anthony Edwards is not at the point where he's not Jordan. He's if they lose, now, if Minnesota gets there and Indiana somehow, I don't know how this could ever happen, they win the series against Boston and Indiana wins it over Minnesota, then maybe he would take a little more heat. But if Minnesota loses to Boston in the final, this will not be, Anthony Edwards lost. It will definitely Boston finally cashed in.
64-win team. Yeah, the prosecution rests. I mean, seriously, that's my argument. I mean, I hear what he's saying. But I just disagree with it because, is it the dumbest thing ever? No. Do I think Barkley's hilarious for saying that? Yeah, he's being hyperbolic there. There's nothing wrong with that. Gosh, I love Barkley. But, not with a 64-win team.
First of all, if anything, if Minnesota were to beat Boston, I think he has it reversed. It would be Boston lost. Not that Anthony Edwards and Minnesota won.
You have to, don't you feel like you have to factor in, like, the circumstances, though? Like, we don't know. What if all of a sudden, like, it was, Anthony Edwards played out of this world. The Celtics played really well, too, but he christened himself as, like, the next superstar. Yeah. Like, he averaged, 35 points a game, and no one thinks, like, Tatum played bad or Brown played bad or Porzingis, if he's back. It's just Edwards carried them. I hear what you're saying. Overall, I would probably. I think you're right.
These guys aren't the face of the league yet. I don't care who wins. Now, if Luka finally gets there, I almost think one of these guys has to win multiple titles to become then the face of the league. But I've kind of lost track. Are the Celtics good? I can't tell anymore. It's like every time I feel like they're really good, some analyst throws water on it. They're either supposed to win because they're the best, or you're making excuses for them if they don't win. Like, I don't know where anybody stands on this team. All I am here to tell you is they are difficult to trust because of the way they play. They're a shooter's team. And when their offense goes a little south, there's not a lot you can do to rescue it. There's no Shaq. You're not dumping it down. Like, they've got to be a team that shoots well, and they can. They've got White. They got Brown. They got Tatum. Like, they shoot. Drew, like, they can put the ball in the basket, and they have. It was an odd take for where we are because there's a changing of the guard, certainly in the NBA. But the story right now, when Denver lost to Minnesota, was this is Boston's title to lose. That's the headline for me. If anything else happens, it's a great story, but it's somewhat of an upset for me. And it would not be ever at a moment where I'd say, Luka lost it or Anthony Edwards lost it. This is Boston's title now. They got to go take it. That's kind of where I stand on it. We'll do Pressure Cooker when we come back. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
Common Man has spent the past 18 years telling you how much he hates people. And yes, that probably means you, too. Common Man and T-Bone.
Weekdays at 3.
The Fan.
New 2024. Up to 72 months Aria. Up to 36 months Rogue. And 6324.
Reichert Nissan has an announcement to make. 0% financing is now available for up to 72 months. Take a Reichert Nissan Aria home today and pay 0% for 72 months. But that's not all. Reichert Nissan also has 0% financing on Rogue 2. Visit the Reichert Mega Mall off 270 and 33 or shop thousands at ReichertNissan.com. Save more this Memorial Day weekend, only at Reichert. We're dealing.
With approved credit. Residency restrictions apply. Offers cannot be combined. Dealer contribution affects consumer cost.
Hey, it's Bobby. When you have a large investment like a new roof, you want to work with a company you can trust. One with 30 years of experience and hundreds of 5-star Google reviews, 0 complaints with the BBB. That's Newman Roofing. So go check them out at newmanroofing.com or give them a call at 614-NEW-ROOF.
Safe Auto Insurance is now Direct Auto Insurance. What's the difference? Basically, the name. Direct Auto offers savings of up to 25% on state minimum coverage, just like you're used to, which means you never have to make trade-offs when it comes to paying for car insurance. So don't even think about carpooling to work with Talkative Ted. It's time to stop compromising and keep driving with Direct Auto. Get a free quote at directauto.com or call 1-877-GO-DIRECT. Savings vary, terms apply. National General Group, Winston-Salem.
Hi, this is Bob Capace from Worthington Jewelers. As a local family-owned business, we understand the importance of celebrating the ones we love. Stop in to find the perfect gift or check us out online at worthingtonjewelers.com.
I'm Leslie from Pella Columbus.
And I'm Wilson from the other window place.
So, Wilson, you're running a window deal.
Yep. Buy one window, get 2 free. Or 5 or 10. It's all the same.
Oh.
Well, it's not real, but it sounds good to the buyer, so...
That does not sound good.
Oh, it is not. What's your deal?
So we have 5 different window lines so that all budgets can afford Pella without an unreal deal.
Lame.
Get the window that Columbus homeowners rate the most trusted at PellaColumbus.com.
The Fan app is about to become your new best friend. Your one-stop shop for all your favorite fan shows. ESPN Columbus and BetQL. Live or on demand, listen on your schedule. Download the 97.1 The Fan app today. It's free. Do it.
Don't miss a minute of the action on the diamond with ESPN Bet. The exclusive sportsbook of ESPN is the only place to find offers and promotions from your favorite ESPN shows and personalities, including daily odds boost and home run specials all season long. New users can get a bet reset up to $1,000 in bonus bets if your first bet doesn't win. Download ESPN Bet today. What a play. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details.
This offer is only available at Reichert Ford. 0% financing for 72 months on every 2023 Ford F-150 in stock. Take advantage of Reichert's rate before it's too late. Lock in your 0% rate and take a new truck home today. Thousands of vehicles are waiting at ReichertFord.com.
See dealer for details. And 6324.
Exclusively at Reichert Ford. 0% for 72 months is now available on every new 23 F-150 in stock. Hundreds of trucks at ReichertFord.com. We're dealing. Save more this Memorial Day weekend, only at Reichert. We're dealing.
Flexible, secure, fun. Oh, and great pay, too. Are you not sure what you want to do for a career? Or are you thinking of changing careers? Being a dental hygienist or dental assistant may be the perfect fit for you and provides all of these perks, plus more. Talk with a dentist in your community or visit ODA.org to learn more. Become a valuable member of the dental team and start helping people love their smile. This message is brought to you by the members of the Ohio Dental Association.
2 guys drove to work. Neither guy wore a seatbelt. One guy got a ticket. One guy didn't. The same 2 guys drove home. One guy wore a seatbelt. One guy didn't. One guy made it home. The guy not wearing his seatbelt didn't. Don't risk it. Click it or ticket. Paid for by NHTSA.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
We're going to be tracking a sunny day out there today with highs around 83. Saturday, look for a few pop-up showers, high 82. Sunday, look for widespread heavy rain, but it holds off until Sunday night. The daytime hours on Sunday should be relatively dry, high 84. Memorial Day, looks like we'll have clouds in the morning, sun in the afternoon, high 78. I'm meteorologist Dylan Robichaud on 97.1 The Fan.
Bet365 is the exclusive online sportsbook of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
Rothman and Ice present Under Pressure.
Sponsored by United Dairy Farmers.
All right, it's pressure cooker time. And I kind of hinted, so I'll start. Got to put the Rangers back in there now. Blanked in game one of the ECF on their home ice, trying to get to the Cup final. First time in 10 years. They better solve Sergei Bobrovsky and soon. Or as I like to say, Baba Orovsky. The Rangers averaged 3.5 goals a game this year. They scored 4 more goals in 6 of their 8 wins in these playoffs. They're supposed to have the slight advantage, I thought, with Shesterkin. And that's in no disrespect to Sergei Bobrovsky. I feel like that they had a little advantage with Shesterkin. But Bobrovsky has played an extra game. He put up a very similar goals against. The difference is his save percentage comes in lower into these playoffs. I would say, can the Rangers not only get enough shots against him, but kind of be better on the power play? So they were 0 for 2 in game one. Similar to the Celtics. 55 wins, get you a President's Trophy. Now what are you going to do with it? No team has won both the hardware of the President's Trophy and the Cup since 2013. You can't go down 0-2 at home, not on your home ice. I know it's hockey and every game is different, but that would just feel a little bit like too big of a mountain to climb. So I have now to put the Rangers back in there.
I'm going to go with the Timberwolves. It's like the basketball version of what you just talked about. You can't go down 2-0 on your home court and expect to win the series. Would it be possible? Perhaps, but they need to win tonight. And I think they will, but they need to win tonight. And I do wonder mentally where they were game one, because I am sure they thought after they knocked off the champs, oh, we're going to cruise right through the Mavs. Like, I don't know. I mean, you got Luka Doncic and Kyrie. You're not going to cruise right through. Luka is... Now, could he be in a little bit better shape? Yes, but like he is fantastic. And we know what Kyrie can do. Now, I do think the Timberwolves are going to be okay, but they're under pressure. Yeah. They have to win tonight.
I agree with you totally. I think they were probably, listen, when you knock off the defending champs, you do it in Game 7 on the road. You do it without the Ant-Man playing well. Maybe you feel like you're celebrating something or like you won something. They really haven't won anything yet, so I agree. They played 7, so... It caught up with them in game 1 for sure. I'll go to the Diamond, and I'll go to the Tigers. Now, the reason I put the Tigers in there, it's not because I was expecting greatness. I really wasn't. I just thought they looked like, at the beginning of the season, I thought they looked like the Twins' top challenger in the AL Central. They had a really strong finish last year. I remember it. They won 12 of their last 17. I drafted the Cy Young candidate, Tariq Skubal, in fantasy. He's very, very good. They've got talented youth around him. I really thought the Tigers were a sneaky contender in the Central. And this was a team I believe could kind of end the longest playoff drought in the majors. I think they have it. No October trip since 2014, I believe.
Because I was going to say the Reds technically made it in 2020 during the 60-game season.
It might be the Tigers and the Angels.
Trevor Bauer won the Cy Young in that 60-game season.
So now I look at the standings and I see the Tigers have lost 5 in a row, and now they've fallen 10 games out. But it's not just the 5 straight losses. It's how they're losing. 6-4, 8-3, 10-3, 8-3, 9-1. 41 runs in 5 games? Ouch. So I don't know if it's certainly late early, I feel, for the Tigers. They certainly could get back into it, but if I thought they'd be a lot better right now, and I'm looking at this deal, and they look like they're in big trouble. 23-27, 4 under 500, and they've lost those 5 in a row, 3-7 in their last 10, and they've got a -8 run differential. I'll put the Tigers in there.
I will stick with baseball, but go to the collegiate level. Ohio State baseball is under pressure. They have an elimination game in Omaha today in the Big Ten tournament. Their first time making the Big Ten tournament in 5 years. I like the way the Big Ten does this. I think more, sports should do this. Like, not everybody qualifies for the Big Ten tournament. Only the top 8 teams do. So the Buckeyes made it for the first time in 5 years. They crushed Nebraska 15-2 in the first round. Then they got smoked by Indiana yesterday. They play Nebraska again today in Omaha. 3 o'clock Eastern, and it's an elimination game. So I like this Buckeye baseball team. I really am bullish on them next year because their best players, most of their best players, not all of them, are sophomores. And I like the second-year head coach, Bill Mazziello. So Buckeye baseball under pressure today, need to win and stay alive in the Big Ten tournament.
You mentioned this guy early in the show, so I'm going to take him now. And I just noticed he played pretty well today, so I might be a hair late on this, but I still think there's a lot of pressure. I think Jordan Spieth needs to start ramping up his play, hopefully for the Memorial and the U.S. Open. The big tourneys this year, missed the cut at the Players, missed the cut at the Masters. He fell on the weekend, this last week at the PGA, finishing 43rd. His last 5 majors, 2 missed cuts, no top 20s. This is a guy who I thought, like you did, was going to win. He's got 3 majors, thought he'd win a handful more. The other pressure point for me is the fact that Spieth is one of the half a dozen guys on the PGA Tour policy board now. And what happened to that framework I talked about earlier, the agreement between the PGA Tour and the Saudi Public Investment Fund that was announced a year ago. And now, I know he's not part of making the deal, but I just think he's carrying a lot of weight right now. And I just looked at him today because he was +1 after round 1. He shot 71. He did shoot 67. Must have gone out early today. Shot 67. He's 2 under. He's tied for 17th at Charles Schwab. I don't feel he's not already committed to Memorial, but after talking to Dan Sullivan yesterday, there's really no sense he won't play. But I just think could be a big summer for him, and I'm wondering if the pressure of the policy board, the fact he's not been playing well, and that he had a lot of success early as a youngster, that's kind of on his shoulders. I'll put him in the pressure cooker.
I'm putting the country of Canada in the pressure cooker. You say, why would you do that with our friends up north? Because what is their national sport? Hockey. It's an obsession up there. When's the last time a Canadian team won the Stanley Cup?
Yeah.
1993. The Canadiens won it in 1993, 31 years ago. And right now, if you look at the betting favorite, it is the Edmonton Oilers, who are now up 1-0 in the Western Conference spot. Can Canada finally break this 31-year curse and win a Stanley Cup for their nation's favorite sport?
Yeah.
So the Oilers are under pressure. But
good one.
A good start for the Oilers, though, getting that double OT victory last night and making me a little cash on Bet365.
Absolutely. That was fun. We'll have a new Bet365 coming up very shortly. All right, up next, speaking of hockey, nice little segue there, Bids. Good job. Brian Hedger, Columbus Dispatch. Where do we stand on the GM search? And did they have one in-house yesterday? And will he be the guy? We'll talk to Hedge about it next. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
Big voice guy here to remind you that you're listening to The Fan, Ohio's sports destination. Okay, thanks. I have 3 more seconds. Bye-bye.
Ah, the sweet sounds of spring. The crack of a bat, chorus of birds, and the glorious hum of a freshly tuned AC system. Don't sweat it. Let the Waterworks Heating and Cooling team keep you in tune with a spring AC checkup.
We're all set.
Schedule a visit today and stay cool all summer long. Call the Waterworks Heating and Cooling team, 614-333-9720, or schedule service on our website. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better AC.
Boating season is finally here, and Buckeye Lake Marina is your go-to destination for all your on-the-water needs. With the largest inventory in Central Ohio, you can choose from top brands like Bennington, South Bay, Crown Line, and more. Buckeye Lake Marina has it all. Pontoon boats, luxury tri-toon boats, even merch. Open 7 days a week to serve you better. Find your next dream boat at Buckeye Lake Marina. Visit BuckeyeLakeMarina.com today for all your on-the-water needs. The good life, the lake life, starts at Buckeye Lake Marina.
Listen up, gamers. Mountain Dew has always been your go-to for a refreshing citrus kick. Now it's also your go-to for gaming rewards. With Mountain Dew Gaming Rewards, you just look for codes under the caps of specially marked 20-ounce bottles of Mountain Dew. Enter those codes online to bank points, and then redeem them for awesome gaming gear. Everything from gift cards, game copies, controllers, consoles, custom Mountain Dew gaming gear, and more. Join Mountain Dew Gaming Rewards now.
Open to legal U.S. residents 18+. Subject to program terms at MountainDewGaming.com and 1525. Voter prohibited.
O'Reilly. You need parts? O'Reilly Auto Parts has parts. Need them fast? We've got fast. No matter what you need, we have thousands of professional parts people doing their part to make sure you have it. Product availability. Just one part that makes O'Reilly stand apart. The professional parts people.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. The Fan NBA playoff action. Catch every game of the conference finals and NBA finals on The Fan and ESPN Columbus. How does one listen to such magical things? On the Fan app, silly. Download the 97.1 The Fan app today. Do it.
Common Man here for Care Heating and Cooling. Weather is unpredictable, but the inside of your home should be comfortable just the way you like it. And the best way to avoid those unnecessary surprises is with a care plan. See, with a care plan, you get priority service, system maintenance in case of an emergency. Just another way to give you and your family peace of mind. And maintaining your systems properly can help save you money. A properly maintained furnace and air conditioner run more efficiently, reducing your utility usage. Regular maintenance also prevents breakdowns and extends the life of your equipment. I'm on the care plan, and I'm quite the expert. I'll stop by and give your system a once-over. I will. Don't tempt me. I end every commercial the same way, telling you to hire Care when you need a company you can trust. It's not just the slogan. That's the Care creed. How about this? Lennox. They have thousands of dealers nationwide. HVAC royalty. Last year, Lennox gave Care their coveted Partner of the Year award because they're trusted by their customers and their partners. Care Heating and Cooling. Call 1-800-COOLING or book an appointment online at careheatingandcooling.com when you need a company you can trust.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Diego.
Hi, Diego. It's Jennifer Coolidge. I just want to say your cashback match makes me feel so special. It really inspired me.
That's great. Doubling the cashback you've earned at the end of your first year is what we do.
Well, I'm doubling everything now. Double dating, double dipping, double feature, double header, double whammy. Basically double or nothing.
You earn, we match. Discover Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
Two guys drove to work. Neither guy wore a seatbelt. One guy got a ticket. One guy didn't. The same two guys drove home. One guy wore a seatbelt. One guy didn't. One guy made it home. The guy not wearing his seatbelt didn't. Don't risk it. Click it or ticket. Paid for by NHTSA.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
No one funks up the work microwave like these two. Fish again? You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
All right, the summer of CBJ, revamping the organization, searching for a GM, and then finding out whether the tough decisions are going to be made by that person, which undoubtedly they will. You have a head coach, a young first-time head coach kind of hanging in the balance. You got goaltender questions. You got a lot going on. You got one of your star players that's still in the player assistance program, and Patrick Laine. I mean, it's a weird stuff, and they've got to get stuff straightened out. But the first thing is to find out whether they're going to replace Jarmo with a certain individual. And we'll get Hedge on this right now. Brian Hedger, Columbus Dispatch, who covers the team. He is on the Bryant Heating Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. Hedge, welcome back, my man.
Hey, good to be back.
Thanks. All right, so tell us what you know so far. The name that was being thrown out yesterday amongst hockey circles was that they would be interested in Carolina Hurricane GM Don Waddell. There was a report nationally that said that they believe that he interviewed in Columbus yesterday. Do you find that to be true? Was that confirmed?
Well, I mean, I did get a hold of John Davidson today, and he declined to comment. So that basically means that you're neither confirming nor denying the reports. But I did get a chance to ask him specifically about that report by Elliot Friedman from Sportsnet. And Pierre LeBrun from The Athletic and TSN also, he had kind of started that whole thing last night by tweeting out that Don Waddell, he'd come to learn that Don Waddell was not going to be retained or not expected to be retained in Carolina, and that he was free to speak with teams. And then Elliot Friedman followed up saying that he believed that Waddell had interviewed in Columbus on Thursday, actually. And so what's interesting also, when you consider what happened today, and today is after I spoke with JD this morning and he declined to comment. The Carolina Hurricanes announced that Don Waddell had stepped down from his positions as team president and GM, and he is he's a free agent, and his quote in the release from the Hurricanes that he's looking for the next step in his next chapter in his career. So we'll see where it all goes.
Brian, in your opinion, how attractive of a job is this with the young core of players they have? They have the number 4 pick in the draft, of course, coming up. How attractive of a job is this, in your opinion?
This is a really attractive job. I mean, if you talk to hockey people in the hockey circles around the league, I know that Columbus doesn't get a lot of publicity, and they don't generate a lot of talk around, in hockey media circles, around the country or whatever. But when you talk to the hockey people who run these teams and things like that, they all kind of know that this market and this team, they see the support that fans have for this team and everything. This is a great market, and not only that, this team. I mean, people have said and can say whatever they want about Jarmo Kekalainen and the job that he did here for a decade a little bit more. He left them in a great position, in great shape, and they have one of the most enviable prospect pipelines in the entire NHL right now. And you got Adam Fantilli sitting there. He hasn't even completed a full year in the NHL yet. And he's got all kinds of promise. And you still have a 4th overall pick coming with another guy, Denton Matejek. I mean, you just go right down the line with the number of prospects they have, both up front and on the back end. They do have a number of questions they got to figure out, but I think potential GM candidates look at this place and say, "Hey, I could have a lot of success there, and if we do, that's a place that could really explode in terms of excitement and all that kind of stuff."
Hedge, there was no reason to believe that they were willing to pay Mike Babcock more money than they'd ever paid a head coach, and then that thing takes a massive left turn, and then Pascal Vincent gets thrown into this thing, and there was no way that we could have the same expectations. I thought that there's no way, because then you'd be defeating your own argument that, well, if you think you could have the same results with Vincent, then why would you even go after a proven head coach? Now that this has happened, and remember, they've had injuries, they've had things happen. They didn't have the injuries that Brad Larson had. I mean, that was an AHL team at times. So my question to you is, does it make sense? Are you connecting the dots that whoever they hire is going to go out and get a proven head coach, or could they let Vincent have a little time under a new boss, so to speak, to see if he can prove himself? However, then you're kind of pushing things down the road. How do you feel about it?
Yeah, that's one that I haven't really had a chance to. I really haven't been able to get a finger on the pulse for that one. That's a tough one because when you think about it, Pascal, he still has a year left on the deal that he signed. You have to figure that I'm sure it's at a economical price range for the Blue Jackets, probably considering what happened, with Babcock and the late nature of it and everything. I think Pascal probably was like, well, I'm not signing a job here for just 1 year, and I want at least a guaranteed second year as far as the contract goes that they would have to pay. But it is interesting. You start talking about bringing in new leadership. I mean, what does that mean, right? The name Don Waddell is out there. Which position is he interviewing for? Is he interviewing for the GM job, or he was president and GM in Carolina for the last 7 years, and he was president for 10 years. So I have a hard time believing a guy like that would come here and just be the GM. You know what I mean? And does that mean that JD is moving on somewhere potentially? We're going to have to see all these different things. And if that happens, and then they hire another, like a GM to work under Waddell or whoever it would be, somebody in that capacity, there's a chance that they're going to want their own coach. They're going to want to right from day one. That's usually what happens when you change leadership. There's a new coach. What I will say about this, and I know we're probably limited on time here, but like what I'll say about this is that I personally feel like Pascal actually did a really good job this year. When you're given all the things that happened and the basically I'll call it a trauma that this team went through at the beginning of the year with Mike Babcock and that whole crazy situation that happened literally less than a week before camp opened. I thought they were pretty good. I mean, their record was bad, but they were in so many games, and he was putting in his own system and all that kind of stuff. And then injuries did finally catch up to them near the end, and they did have sort of like an AHL team by the very end of it. I thought he did a pretty good job, at least good enough to grant consideration to at least get another tryout for another year. But we're going to find out. We'll find out when they make these hires, because time's running out. You know, the draft's coming up in in about a month, and they got to hire someone before that, in my opinion.
I'll give you one last one, and they're probably stuck here, and maybe stuck's a harsh word, but I think Jacket fans will probably agree with me. Where are they with the future in net? Like, who do they see as their big future? Did they see enough in Elvis and a bounce back with a bad defense in front of him that, okay, we got to give him another chance because we have to, because they're linked to all that money? Or do you think a change of scenery is still potential there for Merzlikins?
I mean, that's a great question, right? I mean, when you look at the season as a whole, let's look at it as a whole and compare it really quickly to the season before. The season before, which was Brad Larsen's final season there, and you mentioned it, all the injuries made it like basically an AHL team. How do you, I mean, like the goaltending was awful as well. I mean, the numbers, there's no other way to say it. The numbers were terrible. By far, career low numbers for Elvis Merzlikins. So he comes back off of that, and I know for a fact that he really dedicated himself. Elvis did last summer, didn't go to the World Championships, all that stuff. Really dedicated himself on working on his mental approach, new training in the off season as far as physical stuff. He did show some improvements over the season, but he still dealt with inconsistencies as far as, like, you know, on the ice and also injuries and health. I mean, he left games. He was ill, you know, sick. And then, I mean, you need a goalie you can lean on, right, as the number one guy. So that's a great question. Like, what do you do with the guy who's got 3 years left on a contract that is, I mean, let's face it, that contract is one that you give to a bona fide number one starting goaltender in the NHL. There's a $5.4 million cap hit, and there's 3 years left of it. So if you're looking at options, what do you do? Like, if nobody wants him, if nobody wants to take that contract, even if you eat, you know, a fairly large number of the contract, what do you do then? Do you have to buy him out, and then you decide to move on? These are all things that a new leadership group are going to have to face in a short amount of time.
That's it. You nailed it. It's the tough decisions are going to have to be made. Eat the money with Elvis. You're going to eat another bad contract. Now, I think he's come back off of being an emotional guy, and so I'm talking about Elvis. So we'll see. It's got to be about the team, and those tough decisions are going to have to be made. Hedge, you're the man. Thanks. I know you'll stay on it. We'll be in touch. Thanks.
All right. Thanks for having me. We'll see you.
You got it. Brian Hedger, Columbus Dispatch, covering the Jackets here on the Bryant Heating Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. All right, Memorial Day weekend, good weather. Go kick the tires at Germain Honda of Dublin. My friend Rich over there, he's got all the deals. The interest rate starting as low as 1.90%. And I'm talking about the 2024s, the Civic LX sedan, the Accord LX sedan, the CRV LX two-wheel drives. He's going to give you an extra $1,000 for your trades. You're going to come away with an awesome deal, but most importantly, a great relationship and an awesome new vehicle. He wants to give you the best deal in town. Trust me, you'll work it. It'll be great. You will not be disappointed. Germain Honda of Dublin, Central Ohio's best Honda dealer. Love those guys over there. Hopefully you will find out the same experience. They're on Sawmill Parkway, just south of 270, Germain Honda of Dublin. Buckeye Bulletin is up next, and Ohio State portal rankings. We've got them. We'll tell you about it next. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
The Big Nine was a sad, incomplete place. Enter Ohio State. The rest is history. The Buckeye Show.
Weeknights at 6.
The Fan.
Are you confident letting just anyone on the roof of your home? I'm Craig Schottenstein, owner of Schottenstein Roofing. Our team is dedicated to delivering outstanding value on every roof we repair or replace. Schottenstein Roofing. Go to schottensteinroofing.com.
Hi, this is Ron Frost with Ohio Mulch, and we're proud to serve our customers for over 40 years, where our name means a great deal. So now it's time to drop those prices so you can save big. All bulk mulchers are now $10 off a yard. I told you, it's time to save. Visit us online at ohiomulch.com.
What's up, sandwich heads? Today on Steve-O's Sandwich Reviews, we've got the tips and tricks to the best sandwich order. And it all starts with this little guy right here. The crisp, refreshing taste of Pepsi Zero Sugar. Every bite is better with Pepsi.
Celebrate 30 years of family fun at the Wilds. Book a cabin stay and a zipline adventure over animal pastures. This is family fun. This is the Wilds. Visit thewilds.org and make memories together.
Every shot, every goal, ESPN Bet has fans covered for the biggest moments on the road to the championship. The exclusive sportsbook of ESPN is the only place to find special offers and promotions from your favorite ESPN shows and personalities throughout the playoffs. New users can get a bet reset up to $1,000 in bonus bets if your first bet doesn't win. Download ESPN Bet today. What a play. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details.
Some people just know there's a better way to do things, like bundling your home and auto insurance with Allstate, or going to the grocery store for milk instead of buying your own cow. You know there's an easier and better way. Save up to 25% when you bundle home and auto with Allstate.
Bundled savings vary by state and are not available in every state. Saving up to 25% is the countrywide average of the maximum available savings off the home policy. Allstate Vehicle and Property Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
If you're obsessed with fantasy sports and gambling things, we have the slightly above average radio show for you. On the Money with Dave Biddle and Scotty Vegas.
Presented by the Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus.
Sunday morning at 9 on The Fan.
This is the absolute worst time of the year to be dealing with joint pain. You can't do the stuff outdoors you love, the stuff you want to do, the hiking, the running, the playing on the beach. It's being around friends and family. Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. If you're tired of achy joints, you need to call my friends over at QC Kinetics before you agree to any risky surgeries or steroids or harmful medications. That's what tens of thousands of real-life patients around the country did, just like me with my knee. My dad did with his knee. Some of our friends and family who have done it with knees and shoulders and a variety of joints. They're out walking around now, enjoying the time outside. Or you could be like a guy like Chad, who wants to live life to the fullest, but his knees have been bothering him. He's been on pain meds forever. He went to crutches on his high school reunion, but that was before he found QC Kinetics, and now he's bouncing around like the pain is gone. And QC Kinetics has a national director in Dr. Mitchell Sheencup, who's been doing this for over 20 years. So go check him out at 614-208-4544. That's 614-208-4544.
When you switch and save with Progressive, you could use that money towards going to see your favorite team in the playoffs. Progressive cannot guarantee that you can go see your favorite team in the playoffs. Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds on average, but we cannot guarantee that your favorite team will make the playoffs or even finish with a winning record. They could easily lose more than half their games and finish in the cellar because they stink badly and haven't made the playoffs in years. Savings? Very possible. Playoffs? Highly doubtful. Switch and see if you could save at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance and Affiliates not available in all states. We cannot be held liable for your favorite team's terrible and frankly embarrassing performances now or ever.
Technology helps keep everyone comfortable with a smart thermostat.
Turn temperature down.
Temperature down.
Turn temperature up.
Temperature up. But to keep everyone on your team working comfortably, you need more than technology. You need CDW to custom configure Dell Client Solutions devices. Adaptive AI-based software creates a personalized user experience and boosts collaboration so they can stay cool and collected.
Temperature down.
Temperature up.
I'm staying out of this. Dell Client Solutions make adaptive performance possible. CDW makes it powerful. Learn more at cdw.com/Dell Client.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Accurate Heating and Cooling and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
Rothman and Ice present Buckeye Bulletin.
Sponsored by Logan AC and Heat Services. Don't go through another air conditioner breakdown. For fast, friendly service, call the experts at Logan Services now for a free estimate and next day air installation.
All right, Buckeye Bulletin time. Now, I'm going to start with the disclaimer of that Ohio State certainly has an off-season championship going, right? They're not handing out a trophy, nor does Ryan Day want one for that. Does he like the hype? Of course. Do they lean into the pressure? Absolutely. Are you embracing the expectations that you always will at Ohio State? Of course. There is a feeling that this is the team that can right all the wrongs. And that's what you got to sell the guys. And whether you sold them on the championship run or NIL, or if it's all in that pie, then that's fine, because it can be. Not every kid came back just to win a title, and not every kid came back just to get the paycheck. Like, it can be a little bit of both, and not every kid transferred here because the deal was better than the one he could have gotten somewhere else. Is that likely? Maybe. But if you can get it all somewhere, why wouldn't you? And that's what Ohio State feels right now. The possibility, if you're a prospect or a transfer or a recruit, that you can have it all at Ohio State. There's another T-shirt for you. Have it all. Now, you've got on the back of the T-shirt, you'd have to say, it has to be earned. You can't just put it down on paper and say Ohio State is the best portal transfer, the best this, that, and the other. It all becomes moot, and it becomes a footnote in history if you don't translate it into a title. Everybody knows that. The last thing you want at Ohio State this year is for me to come on in January and talk about a season that might have been. That's not what you want. And so, but they know that that's possible. Now, I say all that to say that ESPN has fun, because it's this time of year, in ranking things. And they have ranked the newcomer class. And what that means is you mix in the recruits, the portal transfers, and all that, the people that weren't at the school in the program in the previous year, and where do they get spit out.
And it doesn't count people that came back, like JT Tuimoloau and Jack Sawyer. Right. It's the recruits and the transfer portal combined.
Yeah. So they have ranked Ohio State, and maybe, I don't think this is motivation, but I was surprised, because if you get Caleb Downs and Quinshon Judkins, I immediately believe just those two guys, you could probably win the newcomers ranking number one with just those two guys. You really could. They didn't, but they did come in second. So before we all freak out, they did come in second. Now, whether we agree with it or not, Texas actually, ESPN has revealed, and there are two guys that did it for ESPN, that they made the best addition since the end of 2023. So it goes Texas, Ohio State, Ole Miss, the U, Oregon, Bama, A&M, Colorado, Oklahoma, and Auburn. Those are the top 10. They did say that since Texas was number one, that they got a wide receiver. The recruits were the wide receiver and a defensive end. And the transfers, they got another wide receiver from Bama and Isaiah Bond and some others. I won't go through all of them.
And they got 10. Here's my problem with this, and it's splitting hairs. Texas has done a great job this offseason. But just looking at the transfers, you could make the argument that maybe Texas had a better haul of transfers just because they have 10 and Ohio State only has 6. But like you said, Ohio State had the number one player in the portal, Caleb Downs, the number one running back in the portal, Quinshon Judkins. Okay, let's say, but Texas has 10 and they have some really good players mixed in. Let's say you give Texas a slight advantage there, which I wouldn't agree with. Let's say you do, though. Here's where their logic makes no sense. They even start off with Texas finished with the number 5 recruiting class in the country. Did it? Well, that's great that they finished with the number 5 recruiting class in the country. Guess who had the number 2 recruiting class in the country? Ohio State. So when you add it up, it doesn't make any sense. Ohio State had the better recruiting class, and that's not even disputable. And then, the transfer portal is a coin flip at best. So when this is all for fun, but, and we're in Columbus, Ohio doing this. But seriously, I think if you took off the scarlet and gray glasses, you would say Ohio State would be 1 and Texas would be 2.
I feel like if there was a tiebreaker, you could probably do that. But this is all on hype alone.
It's just for fun. Yeah, it's May.
Jeremiah Smith looks like an all-world wide receiver. We'll find out. Julian Sayin is most likely not going to be your starting quarterback this year. So maybe what happened, and maybe since I don't know when they did this, is post-spring, maybe if he was the guy, like he transferred there to be the guy, maybe they would have said that they would have given a little more points to that. I don't know.
You got Will Howard, though, also in the portal.
Oh, there's no question.
You got your starting center, Seth McLaughlin. It wasn't just like they got Downs and Judkins.
Well, they didn't think too highly of McLaughlin, probably.
Well, that's fine. Yeah. But, it wasn't like they got 2 great guys in the portal, then 4 scrubs. The other guys they got are pretty solid, too.
You're in the camp that I would be in, that it's very hard. If you're going to just compare quality to quantity, then quantity is always going to win. But if you want to look at who they got, but a lot of this is hype. Now, Caleb Downs and Quinshon Judkins, that's not hype. These aren't prospects. These are guys we've seen. These are guys we know.
From the SEC, no less.
Right. And Will Howard, who's played a lot of games.
Yeah.
We know that. The Jeremiah Smith, Julian Sayin, the other guys, certainly we don't know. But like I said, this is splitting hairs. I'm sure Texas got a really good haul, and they did. Somebody had to be number one, and it wasn't Ohio State this time around. But those names are certainly going to become household names for Buckeye fans this year. But if Ohio State had the best offseason in college football, then how could they be ranked second in anything? But that's all opinion.
Well, and I think when people say that about the offseason, they include all those guys coming back. Basically, Mike Hall was the only one that left that we thought, all these guys, right? You're thinking like, Emeka's going to leave, right? At this time last year, Anthony, if I told you Emeka was going to come back as a senior, you'd be like, no way. Denzel Burke, Jordan Hancock, all these guys that came back, Tuimoloau, Sawyer, Tyleek Williams, on and on and on and on and on and on. I think people factor that in. They factor in who came back, who turned down a chance. No, those guys wouldn't have been first-round picks. I get that, but they would have been second-day picks, and usually those guys would leave. It's a good part of NIL for Ohio State. NIL is why most of those guys came back. So I think most people factor in who came back, they factor in transfer portal, and they factor in recruiting class. And this ESPN piece is just doing two of those three.
Listen, we all knew this receiver draft was incredibly deep. I think 7 receivers went in the first round. Like, that's incredible. They just kept on hearing their names called. So Emeka probably figured, okay, I'm going to be part of a national title, NIL, plus all those guys going in the first round.
And his injury last year.
Yeah, and if I go, I'm not going to be a first-round receiver, but I can be if things work out this year. So we all understand his decision. We'll take a break. We'll come back. SportsCenter update here, top of the hour, and we'll get into our deep dive. College sports changing again. Is it for the better? We'll give you the details next. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
We're known for 3 things: games, conversation, and common man yelling about things only he cares about. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
If you're about to get engaged or ready to walk down the aisle, your true love deserves a true jeweler, the Diamond Seller. As a true jeweler, we not only have designer collections to meet your bridal needs, but we also have talented in-house designers who can create something truly one of a kind. Visit the Diamond Seller today.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. We believe that every sport should be epic. Every home run, every hit, every inning, every play. From the moments that are legendary to the ones that fly under the radar.
See for yourself when you sign up today and get $150 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. 21 plus only, must be present in Ohio. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply.
The delicious ice-cold taste of Dr. Pepper has a lasting effect on people. Lindsay from Sacramento said,
Pro tip, 40 degrees is the perfect temperature for an ice-cold Dr. Pepper.
why is 40 degrees the perfect temperature for Dr. Pepper? We brought in Sue from Duluth, Minnesota to tell us.
Oh, yeah, I know a thing or two about cold. Oh, that right there is the perfect kind of ice cold for Dr. Pepper. I'd share that with my friend Nancy. She likes Dr. Pepper, too, you know. My coldest...
All right, that'll be all, Sue. Having a perfect temperature for your Dr. Pepper? It's a Pepper thing. Inspired by real fan posts.
Reggie was a nurse for 16 years.
I had become very burnt out. I wasn't making good money.
Then it happened.
There was an ad for My Computer Career, and it just spoke to me.
My Computer Career was the best decision he ever made.
I could study anywhere from my laptop, and I was working in the first couple of weeks of me being in class.
Reggie hit a home run.
The field is teeming with jobs.
Become an IT pro in just months with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
The school is amazing.
It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu. This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
Open your door to a beautiful Nature Stone basement floor. This is Paul Keels for Nature Stone. Save up to 50% during their May is for Moms sales event. Schedule your free cost estimate today at naturestone.com. It's not just a floor. Wow, it's Nature Stone.
You know, in the summertime when I was a kid, there was nothing better than going out to the grill with my dad. And I knew that when we did, we were going to have a memorable night because he was always a proponent of Omaha steaks. My dad knew the very best and was not messing around because he always used Omaha steaks and burgers. And this Father's Day, you have got to do the same. because a world-class dad deserves a world-class steak. The experts at Omaha Steaks have made it easy to put a smile on the big guy's face this summer with hand-selected packages like the Deluxe Father's Day gift. For just $89.99, this package includes a mouth-watering assortment of Dad's grilling favorites like Omaha Steaks Butcher's Cut top sirloins, juicy boneless pork chops, and their legendary Omaha Steaks burgers. Go to omahasteaks.com. Use promo code Carlin at checkout to order the Deluxe Father's Day gift and get 4 additional burgers absolutely free. If there's one thing we know, it's that dads want steak.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
And I'm Timmy Hall. Good afternoon. We've been wondering when the NCAA's model was going to come crashing down. We've been wondering that for decades. Yesterday, the association, along with 5 power conferences, agreed to settle 3 separate federal antitrust cases to the tune of $2.7 billion. It's going to change everything, even though there's tons of questions to still answer, like who exactly gets paid and how much, where's Title IX with all this, roster sizes, but a new revenue sharing plan will allow a school to share up to $20 million per year with its athletes, possibly more, as they can pay for scholarships. To the NBA tonight, it's Game 2 of the Western Conference Finals in Minnesota. The T-Wolves hosting the Mavericks. Dallas won that first game. It's an 8:30 tip coverage right here after the Buckeye show at 8. This one is sponsored by Nature Stone. Schedule your free cost estimate today at naturestone.com. It's not just a floor. Wow, it's Nature Stone.
Most shows just skim the surface, but Rothman and I feel like the biggest story of the day deserves a closer look. It's time for a deeper dive.
Sponsored by Maxima Concrete. Visit MaximaConcrete.com today to schedule your free estimate.
Rothman and Ice, Biddle in for the Iceman today. Bake at the controls. We will talk with Jensen Lewis at 2:33. Toss a little chin music. See if the Guardians can just take advantage of the schedule now and give themselves a little bit of a cushion. They've been on fire. They should stay on fire. We'll ask him at 2:33. You heard Timmy in the update talk about the stuff that I'm sure you have a lot of fatigue on, because I do. I'm sure Bids does as well. But we certainly have questions about it, because now with that $2.8 billion settlement, you've got Title IX kind of hanging over the balance in all this. And so this pay system that's going to upend the traditional college sports model that he mentioned in his update, you still have to come to grips on the details about how millions upon millions of dollars is going to be distributed to certain, and it's going to bring questions about gender equity and all that. We just don't know. I mean, we think about this stuff in football because football is what drives the bus, certainly here at Ohio State, and basketball can to some extent. But whether these schools have to comply with Title IX, the federal law that prohibits, any discrimination in any school or educational program that receives federal funds, that's the biggest question I have today. Now, I know that's probably not anything that anybody wants to talk about, but there are many questions that need to be addressed of House v. NCAA and where we are being approved by a federal judge about where things are going with all of sports. I'd bore you if I bring up all the stuff I brought up in the past. Am I for these guys getting paid? Yeah. I mean, go ahead, get a piece of the pie. Where I'm in a different world and you're in a different world. We work for a company. I have a boss. I go to work. I agreed upon a salary. I get paid that. I'm not asking for the parent company to say, wait a minute, I'm on the air. I'm doing the work. Where's my piece of all the revenue? Well, the piece of the revenue is my job and my salary. The piece of the revenue that I always thought college kids got, especially athletes, was stuff that nobody put a price tag on. And whether that's a shame or not, I may be just barking up the wrong tree. But I feel like that the training, the coaching, the guidance, the gear, the room and board, the platform, the tradition, the possibility of going to do this for a living one day, all that, I actually did put a price tag on. I understand that now that we hear about these billions of dollars that are out there in TV revenue, that it's hard not to say, wait a minute, where's mine? And you're doing this on my sweat, my tears, my back, all that. And so, but I'm talking to probably most people that live in the real world. You have a job, you get paid that money, you're not running into the front office and saying, wait a minute, now how much does this company make a year? Where's my section of that? No, your section is the job. And before all this, the section of theirs was the scholarship. That in exchange for you coming to be an athlete here, that you will get an education, a pretty damn good one. As long as you want to stay here and stay eligible, you'll get a diploma. And if you don't make it as a pro, guess what you'll have to fall back on? The hundreds of thousands of dollars that we gave you in a free education.
And most guys are not going to go pro.
Yeah.
I mean, what is it like?
Yeah.
10%? I have to look at the numbers.
But I'm a realist. I know where we are in this world. But back then, or 15, 20 years ago, that kind of was the nice trade-off. Wait a minute. I don't have to pay for a dorm. I don't have to pay for food. And now if you go to the Woody, I mean, you could live there if you wanted to. I mean, the nutrition and this and that and the other. It used to be back in the day, and this was a joke with, you gave them extra cream cheese on a bagel. It's a violation. Okay, we all had a good laugh on that, and we should, because it was stupid. Now they're going to be eating better than us easily 7 days a week if they want to. And the other part about it was, if you choose a place like Ohio State and you're lucky enough to get a scholarship there, or you're fortunate or talented or whatever, you are presumably going to be coached by the best in the biz and trained by the best in the biz. When I decided to get an internship in broadcasting, I tried to choose places that I felt would be beneficial to me, that I would learn more or learn the right way to do it or how to do it. These guys choose Ohio State because this is the conveyor belt to maybe doing this for a living. And that's the spiel I'll give you on that. I just wanted to go forward. But here we are. And I'm advancing to 2024 because we got to live in this adapt or die situation. But this settlement is expected to allow the richest schools, like Ohio State and the big ones we've mentioned in those little newcomer rankings, to spend about $20 million every year on their own athletes, beginning as soon as next year. So now, forget about the boosters and the bagmen and the NIL. I mean, that's still going to exist, but now the schools can actually pay for them to play. It's been going on anyway recently. Like, there's been a little end around. We can't offer you the portfolio, but talk to that guy. They'll set it up for you.
Right.
And so that's where we are. But I do think this Title IX thing, which probably won't be a headline today, might be hanging over the balance on what that $20 million, how that's going to be distributed.
It's going to be very interesting. And I have a good source on this because I was wondering, how are they going to divvy this up? Let's say, just use Ohio State for an example. Let's say they have $20 million and they're going to divvy it up. How are they going to do that? My source told me that they haven't come with a final decision yet, but it's likely going to be $10 million for the women, $10 million for the men. And then how they're going to split up from there, I don't know. Is it going to be, my question was,
50-50 split.
And then let's look at the football team. However much money is going to go to the football team. Do the star players get more? Does everybody on the team get an equal amount? And then my source told me, keep in mind, like $20 million, even if it went all to football, probably wouldn't be enough, let alone like $10 million split amongst all of the men's sports at Ohio State. So the NIL collectives, the foundation, 1870 Society are still going to be massively important. So they're going to be way more important. If you're an Ohio State fan, you're like, what's more important now? That Ohio State can pay these guys directly, or is it the two major NIL collectives? There's really three, I guess, but what I mean. It's definitely the NIL collectives that are still going to be the most powerful entities here. It's just going to be, I think this is, and my initial thought, Anthony, was this is real, and a lot of people have said this, when we heard, $20 million a year that they're going to have to pay their own athletes, this is going to crush non-revenue sports, right? Well, now we're hearing, if my source is correct, that no, a lot of this money will go to non-revenue sports, and still the NIL collectives are going to be the backbone of football and men's basketball and things like that. So if you're worried like Ohio State baseball is not going to exist in 5 years, that was my initial thoughts. Like, man, it's pretty cool. Ohio State has fencing, right? And like an archery team and all that. I think it's cool.
They like Olympic sports,
I think it's cool, but I was thinking, is there going to be any money for these sports to exist in 5 and 10 years? Sounds like there will be, so that's good news.
Yeah, listen, it's confusing for all of us. Yes. It really is, because it makes it sound like, okay, they can spend $20 million, and if they're going to do it in their own discretion, why wouldn't they want to spend it on what makes the most?
Right.
Not play the PR game.
Right.
They could say, well, wait a minute, we're in business now. Now we're in business together. the players, the coaches, the administrator, we're all in together.
It's revenue sharing.
Yeah,
not like you don't make any revenue, but you're going to no, you have to make revenue to share in the revenue, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing, man. Like, and the irony here, if revenue sports are affected, which still, even though I said like I've changed my mind, there's still a possibility that that's going to happen within 5 years, 10 years, whatever it is. You know, the irony here, the initial lawsuit was brought by a collegiate swimmer.
Yeah, I heard
a swimmer, a program that loses a lot of money. This is a be careful what you wish for thing, because like those swimmers and all the other non-revenue athletes are going to get some money here, but in 10 years, their school that they swam at might not have a swimming program anymore because they can't afford to pay out $20 million across all of their sports and continue to field. You know, Ohio State has got like 36 varsity sports, the most in the country. Now, Ohio State can probably still do that with the money they bring in with all these new TV. Now, across the country, I think we're going to see non-revenue sports somewhat affected. We'll see now Ohio State, I think they're gonna be okay, but I think across the country we're gonna see a lot of non-revenue sports affected.
It's not a be careful what you wish for thing, because I think all these athletes wish to get paid. As ridiculous as it sounds to me to have some, I don't know, baseball team or softball to fly from Southern California to Happy Valley to play. Like, as stupid as I think that is, it should be, geographical stuff, because it is just sports and education. But
when I do say be careful what you wish for, I just mean, like, obviously these people want the money, but they probably care about that sport, right? Like, if you played collegiate tennis, right? Like, so like if that program went away, that would hurt. You'd be like, what the heck, man? That would hurt you. So that's why I mean, be careful what you wish for.
These
like,
kids are so
if you're trying to get money for swimmers right now, that's great. And I'm glad they're getting money. Okay, great. But that's a non-revenue sport. Eventually that money's not going to be there, and they might cut that sport that you love. So yeah, you're getting yours, but you might eventually cut the sport at that school that you swam at or played at.
It could very much be that way eventually. And athletes, even though they're all eligible, you're right, if the sport doesn't exist, then you're going to have to go find a place to play that sport and get paid if that's what you're into. And the interesting thing, I don't know if scholarship limits are going to be replaced by roster restrictions and all that. And the other thing about it is it almost makes me feel like each program is going to have like their own salary cap in a way, and they're going to decide of that $20 million which athletes we should share it with. Like, they're not going to be forced to do it outside of Title IX. Now, you may be right about that with the new compensation model is subject to the Title IX gender equity law. And so
once they become employees, it won't be.
Yeah, but once, I mean,
if they become, and that seems to be the next step. By the way, it seems like every year there's
can
massive.
They be fired? Their employees?
Why not? That's another thing. Be careful what you wish for, right?
Right.
I mean, be careful what you want to be technically an employee. There's good things that go with that.
You're not good enough anymore.
I can give you a whole list of things that'd be bad about that too. So again, be careful what you wish for, college athletes.
Yeah, listen, it's a lot of athletes who came before were like, man, I wish I would have been born in this era and been this good and whatever. We just had Justin Zwick on the other day, and he was one of the top prospects coming out of Ohio as a quarterback. And who knows? Maybe he would have been able to. Well, Ohio State probably at that time would have paid him to come here.
For sure.
It would have been a massive NIL deal. But I'm not telling you that maybe he couldn't have gotten a bigger one somewhere else. Now, being an Ohio boy, maybe he was like, no, the deal's good enough. I always wanted to play there, and this is cool. But there could have been a little bit there. And then he even, we didn't talk about this, but Austin Ward and I definitely admitted that, once Troy Smith got the job, then Justin probably would have been, okay, where can I go play?
Kyle McCord stuff. Well, although Kyle McCord wasn't even technically beaten out. He was just told, we're definitely going to look in the portal for a quarterback. Translation, we're going to get somebody in the portal that's better than you.
Yeah, if they viewed it as that we have there's something missing that we need to level up in our quarterback situation. There's no way you can read it any other way, because they already had a year of Kyle McCord. They've already seasoned him. In fact, you'd think you'd benefit on the year of experience, that you could only make him better. So Ryan Day and Chip, they must have seen, like, wait a minute, there's some ingredient that we need with this team that we don't want to afford or take the risk that we can get there with him. It's not like let's boot him out of here, but let's make it very clear that this job is now up for grabs and that we are going to do what's best for the program, and that's what's best for actually the guy that was playing quarterback who had his first year as a starter and all that. So
And I imagine you know this. Kyle McCord's dad came to Ryan Day after the season and wanted assurances that Kyle was going to be the starting quarterback next year. And Ryan said, I'm not going to give you those assurances. Like, we're going to definitely look in the portal.
Was there any, to your knowledge?
I give Ryan credit for being honest, you know?
Was there, to your knowledge, was there anything about the assurance not only of playing, but the piece of the NIL pie, or no?
I don't think NIL was a big factor with McCord. I don't think that was. I think that playing time was the deal. I think that was that they wanted to be
Continue
assured
to invest in my
that he was going to be the starting quarterback. It's his final year in college. I'm sure Syracuse gave him that assurance. Why wouldn't they? Right?
I've got no problem.
They're Syracuse. I don't have it. I think it worked out good for both sides. I really do. Well, we'll see if it works out good for Kyle McCord. For Ohio State, give me. I know Will Howard's not a world beater. I get that, my friends, but give me Will Howard over Kyle McCord any day. And by the way, I get he was up and down at Kansas State, but now he's at Ohio State with Ryan Day coaching, with Chip Kelly coaching, and throwing the ball to these wide receivers and handing the ball to these running backs. Will Howard's going to be an improvement over Kyle McCord. I have no doubt about that.
I feel you're leaning in the right direction. It'd be hard for me. And I'm not saying that to be funny. I'm just saying I think I'm with you that I'm leaning that direction. And he may not. It's the experience, the legs, all that stuff, the willingness to go get. Like, I think they needed that ingredient.
He's a gamer,
not a guy that has to run, but is willing to run and can when we call his number. I feel like there's a part of that red zone that when the quarterback is your extra weapon out there with his legs and not just his arm, it just creates such a bigger problem for the defense. That's saying the obvious, and I think they probably check that box with him. Now, does he become the great passer and up his percentage, and because he was under 60% and all that? Like, you would think with this offense he should be able to just pitch and catch a lot and hit the deep one when it's open, which it should be. And that's what you need him to do. Just kind of steer it. All right, when we come back, pre-snap reads. Speaking of quarterbacks, Patrick Mahomes has a guy on his team who is the second most targeted guy. Will he be around for a three-peat? He comments on that next. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
Here's a listener tweet. Are Men and Bone stupid in real life? Yes. Yes, they are. Common Man and T-Bone.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
The Fan.
Billiards Plus has everything for the master griller in your house. Come to their showroom, open the lid, and feel the difference in their grills. Professional top quality equipment at great prices with a huge selection ready to go home with you. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
Grab life by the chicken fingers and savor the day with hand-battered, cooked-to-order chicken fingers, crispy crinkle-cut fries, buttery Texas toast, and that secret cane sauce that makes everything that much better.
Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. One love.
Big things are happening on the east side.
We're ready to deal. Come negotiate during May's Dealin' Days at Lindsay Honda. Lower payments, better financing, more value for any trade. Shop lindsayhonda.com and see new Hondas with thousands in savings plus many other deals. We'll work hard to get you a payment you can afford. Now during May Dealin' Days at Lindsay Honda.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference.
See lindsayhonda.com for program details.
Hey, Mountain Dew drinkers, it's the Mountain Dew Baja Blast 20th Baja-versary. 20 years of Baja Blast being a Taco Bell fan favorite. To celebrate this year, the tropical lime flavor of Baja Blast is in stores everywhere all year long. 366 days. That's right, it's a leap year. And for a limited time, you can collect coins for a chance to get Baja gear or a Taco Bell deal. The Mountain Dew Baja Blast 20th Baja-versary.
No purchase necessary. Open to legal residents of US 18+, subject to official rules at BajaBlast.com and 6/15/24. Void where prohibited.
Every shot, every goal, ESPN Bet has fans covered for the biggest moments on the road to the championship. The exclusive sportsbook of ESPN is the only place to find special offers and promotions from your favorite ESPN shows and personalities throughout the playoffs. New users can get a bet reset up to $1,000 in bonus bets if your first bet doesn't win. Download ESPN Bet today. What a play. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details.
Morning Juice.
The real zoo is just the humans here. We are the zoo. I think the next time I take William there, we're just going to hang out like by a park bench and just watch the people.
Morning Juice.
Sponsored by Affinity Whole Health.
Weekday mornings at 6. The Fan.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you. Discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands, at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at Hims, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free, with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. hims.com/joy.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy real estate as is, fast for cash. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family. I even buy my tenants won't pay me the rent houses. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
And now, Public Education Matters with Ohio Education Association President Scott Tomorrow.
All students, no matter where they're from, what they look like, or where they live, deserve to see themselves in their curriculum and to feel appreciated and respected for who they are. Join us in celebrating Asian American, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander Heritage Month and celebrating the beautiful diversity of Ohio's public schools.
Public Education Matters, brought to you by the Ohio Education Association.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Today looks very uneventful. Sunny skies, high 83. Heading into your Saturday, we're looking at a few pop-up showers. Otherwise, expect a dry day, high 82. Sunday should start off dry, but by Sunday afternoon, storms roll in, high 84. I'm Doppler 10 meteorologist Dylan Robichaud on 97.1 The Fan.
Bet365 is the exclusive online sportsbook of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
Rothman and Ice present Pre-Snap Reads.
Sponsored by the Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
All right, a little pre-snap read for you. So what's going on with this kid named Rashee Rice?
He's quite elusive, apparently.
Yeah, it's a bad deal here. Now, what was interesting is I think that, a member of his camp has been informed by the Dallas police the investigation has come to a close. I didn't know that. I mean, so this is second-year wideout playing for the Chiefs. I don't know if he was ever even interviewed as part of the investigation, which is weird. He still faces the potential suspension. Basically, I'll just sum it up for you. He was in a very dangerous hit and run, and it's not good. And luckily, I don't believe anyone was injured too badly, and certainly no one was killed, thank goodness. But he was and then here's the worst part. Well, the worst part is that he's racing. He's in an exotic vehicle. They're racing around cars, and they crash. And they crashed into a couple other innocent people. And then
going 120 miles an hour.
And then it's like, let's get out of here. Like what? You leased a car, you rented a car. Like, what did you think was going to happen? They were going to find you, or the fall guys were going to take the rap. And then
maybe he was drinking and he wanted to at least get out of there so they can't give him a DUI.
Right.
I don't know.
No, and that's you probably are going down an accurate road there. Now, the other thing that happened was that after this, he was accused of punching a photographer in the face in a Dallas nightclub. And the good news for him is this accuser is not pressing charges. So
he's getting paid.
They signed an affidavit. Right.
How much is he getting paid?
Well, the photographer said it was it was a misunderstanding. So I don't want to put that all on Rashee. Maybe he did embellish what had happened. I don't know. But either know, as you know, Roger Goodell and all this, players can still be punished by the league, regardless of whether charges come about.
and this is according to the lawsuit about the crash, they're claiming that they did suffer severe injuries. Now, this is the lawyer saying this, but they're saying the injuries include, quote, trauma to the brain, lacerations to the face, requiring stitches, multiple contusions about the body, disfigurement, internal bleeding, and other internal and external injuries.
Wow, then you're talking about serious potential civil lawsuits against him.
Here's another thing I didn't know till I was reading up on this, Anthony, is The Athletic did a story, and they confirmed with 3 different teams completely had Rashee Rice off of their draft board last year because of character concerns. And 4 other teams, they confirmed, didn't have him completely off their draft board, but knocked him down to a day 3 pick. So 4th round to 7th round. Okay. And word is from the Athletics reporting the Chiefs knew about all of this, all the character concerns. Yeah. The Chiefs didn't just take him in the 2nd round. They traded up to get him.
Where was he in school again?
SMU.
Okay.
Okay.
So
and we have a pretty nice pattern here of malcontents that the Chiefs just look the other way about, and they note coming in that there's problems.
Yeah, they're not alone as far as that goes in the NFL.
No, but they're the poster child of it right now. I mean, when you have guys, multiple teams taking a guy off their draft board, you trade up for him to get him in the 2nd round when some teams wouldn't even take him in the 7th, and now he's played 1 year in the league and he's already doing these 2 stupid things.
Well, they knew the first one, which is when he was at SMU, that he was somebody in the gang he was running with or whatever the party he was running with was firing shots into that empty car that belonged to that SMU basketball player while he was there. Now, the Chiefs have welcomed him back.
Of course they have.
Right. Voluntary. He's working with the team in OTAs. And Mahomes, as I mentioned at the very beginning, this is the 2nd most targeted guy outside of Kelsey on his team. And he wants to go after this 3-peat, which never has been done in Super Bowl history. And they asked him about Rashee Rice.
I think he's just trying to do whatever we can to teach him how to learn from his mistakes. I mean, obviously, that was a big mistake, but you have to learn from it, make sure it doesn't happen again, and try to do whatever you can to be the best person you can be in society, not only for yourself, but for the people around you. And I think he is doing that. Right now, we're just going to keep trying to do whatever we can to get him on the right path so that he can be a great football player, obviously, but we want him to be a great person, too.
Was that Frank Caliendo? That was
doing Patrick Mahomes
at the end of the show. That's another great thing. He lets people to yell out names. That was mine. I was the one yelling Patrick Mahomes. And for those that haven't heard it, Frank Caliendo, shockingly right, does a great Patrick Mahomes. Makes him sound like a Muppet. It's hilarious.
I just want to know who was banging on the keyboard there during that.
Type it away, baby. Old school. Here's the deal. I love when guys say we got to teach people how to be good people. Or make good decisions. You can help guide people. Everybody makes mistakes. And, if you've got a good core of friendship, this and that and the other, people to support you, maybe you can get back to where you need to be. But this isn't a 4th grader. That's to me, and I'm not saying don't support the guy. If you know him, he's a teammate, he's your friend, I get it. But he's 24 years old. I don't know. Sometimes you feel like guys can't get out of their own way. They get the fame, they get the money, they get all that, and it's just like the world is mine, and I don't care who wants to get in my way. They're going to get eliminated. I don't know. He addressed the offseason behavior. He tried to be impartial and weigh in. That all that. We'll see. We'll find out. He needs him, and Kansas City needs him, and that's why they've welcomed him back. Because with all this, guy's facing 8 felony charges in this hit and run. 8, and the Chiefs haven't cut him loose, and they're welcoming him back. So. The talent always is king. If he wasn't this good, bye-bye. That's kind of what happens.
I mean, maybe he'll get the same judge that gave Andy Reid's son a slap on the wrist.
Here we are.
Britt Reid.
All right, that's your pre-snap read for today. Time to do a little Bet365, because at Bet365, they do not do ordinary. Is Logan Allen going tonight, Bake, for the guards? Do we know that? I know J-Lew's on next.
I will pull that up.
I see
right
his
now.
over-under of 4.5 strikeouts.
It'd be kind of weird if he wasn't going tonight and that was on there.
The Angels strike out. Well,
yes, we got Logan.
I didn't know whether it was the next day or whatever. All right.
I'm sorry.
I'm a little slow. It's Friday. His over-under is 4.5 strikeouts. So I'm going to take the under, believe it or not. I cut him off my fantasy team. The Angels strike out at the 2nd lowest rate against lefties in the MLB so far, which is why I'm doing that. So we'll find out. It's -115, so I'll take the under on Logan Allen strikeouts at 4.5. What do you think? You got your eye on anything?
I'll take the over just to play some radio. I really don't have a good feel either way.
Betting against me?
Betting against you, especially when I don't have to bet real money. Yeah.
Well, you guys
can definitely take chances there.
You guys can make the bet too. Either way, I'm not here to tell you what to do, just telling you what I'm doing. It's never ordinary. Sign up at oh.bet365.com. And you got to be 21 or older and be present in the great state of Ohio. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER. And, of course, they are the betting site for those Cleveland Guardians.
May the odds be ever in your favor.
All right.
Drink.
So it's like $20 into the jar. I've not jumped off sides on that in months.
Because you weren't expecting it.
I thought maybe you didn't know about it or you weren't going to have it.
Ryan Baker knows all.
I mean, I definitely get penalized for it, right? I'm not going to blame you. That wasn't a neutral zone violation. That was a full-blown offsides.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't my fault. It wasn't Biddle's fault, so.
It's usually my fault. I would just assume it was my fault.
No. He's blaming the bird for flying in his yard and getting killed.
What's the bird doing, man? Like, this dog territory.
I mean, give the bird a fighting chance.
I'm telling you, like, the other Blue Jays going crazy was like nothing I've ever seen before.
Yeah,
they're chirping like as loud as you can imagine. They're flying low toward my dog. Like one of their boys was a fallen hero.
Let's get a bell on that, Scoopster. Give the bird a fighting chance. Just give it a try. We got J-Lew up next. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
We're the highest rated sports radio station in America. There's no joke there. We just are. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Looking to sell your home? Don't pay 6% commission. Call my guys at Sell for 1% Realtors. They're full service, not a do-it-yourself kind of thing. On average, customers save over $10,000. Give them a call, 614-451-6616. That's 451-6616.
Ready to be the change and have a positive impact on your community? Consider joining the Columbus Division of Police. Starting pay is $70,000 plus, growing to 6 figures after 4 years of service. We offer paid vacations, paid holidays, and health insurance. Do you aspire to complete your degree? We offer 100% tuition reimbursement after you complete your first year of service. Contact the CPD recruiting unit at jobs@columbuspolice.org or apply online at columbus.gov/government/jobs. The City of Columbus is an equal opportunity employer.
Ohio Mulch, Landscape Supply. Hi, this is Ron Frost with Ohio Mulch, and here's to Ohio Mulch celebrating 40 years of making the community a greener and more beautiful place, one garden at a time. Don't miss out on the opportunities to elevate your outdoor space and to be part of a journey towards the next 40 successful years. Check out our promotions online at ohiomulch.com. Ohio Mulch, Landscape Supply. Greener, greener, better.
How can you reach your weight loss goals by the 4th? Simple. Make a Bacon 180 with Awaken 180. Bacon's on the table. Burgers, lobsters, you name it. Don't sacrifice the summer avoiding what you love. Make a Bacon 180 at awaken180weightloss.com.
Hi, this is Ron from the Good Feet store. Are you standing on painful feet all day? Don't lose hope. We want to help you live without pain. Discover your option and visit goodfeet.com.
We go to war for you. At Schroeder Schnarr Trial Attorneys, we don't back down. Truck accident? Call us today at 877-WAR-FOR-YOU or visit warforyou.com for a free consultation. Remember, results matter because we go to war for you. warforyou.com.
Join us for Gambling Things, Fantasy Sports, Gambling Things, and most importantly, Gambling Things. Hollywood Casinos on the Money, Sunday morning at 9.
Presented by Ohio for Responsible Gambling.
The Fan.
Hey, it's Anthony for my friends at Germain Honda of Dublin. You know what Rich is up to? He's got Memorial Day sales going all month long. Interest rates starting as low as 1.90% on the 2024s. The Civic LX sedan, the Accord LX sedan, and CRV LX two-wheel drives. And he's going to throw you an extra $1,000 for your trade. He wants to give you the best deal in town, and you will not be disappointed. Germain Honda of Dublin is my Honda dealer in Central Ohio, and hopefully yours on Sawmill Parkway just south of 270.
There's a little slice of heaven in a country road's escape. Pure perfection in the form of uncrowded nature. Over 1.5 million acres of parks and public lands. From mountain biking to stargazing. Churning white water to quiet trout streams far off the grid. Almost heaven is down to earth in West Virginia. Plan your getaway now at wvtourism.com.
What's up, sandwich heads? Today on Steve-O's Sandwich Reviews, we've got the tips and tricks to the best sandwich order. And it all starts with this little guy right here. Pepsi Zero Sugar. Partial to pastrami, craving a Cubano. Yeah, sounds delicious, but boom! Add the crisp, refreshing taste of Pepsi Zero Sugar and cue the fireworks. Lunch, dinner, or late night, it'll be a sandwich worth celebrating. Trust me, your boy's eaten a lot of sandwiches in his day, and the one thing I can say with absolute fact, every bite is better with Pepsi.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu.
Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Crowd the plate at your own risk. It's time for some chin music with former big leaguer and president of the Bald is Beautiful fan club, Jensen Lewis.
Sponsored by Logan AC and Heat Services. Feeling the heat? Call the experts at Logan Services now for hot deals on Train air conditioners.
No major league music? You got me on the other one, but not the major.
Come on,
not the walk-up music?
I was not told about this.
Oh, that's going to hurt him. That's going to hurt him bad. That's going to cut
Major
him deep.
League, too, the best movie of all time, maybe other than Pulp Fiction.
Maybe now you take a penalty, and now it's a offsetting penalties.
I mean, if I have to take a penalty, I'll take one. I didn't even know about it.
J-Lew is with us on the Bryant Heating Cooling Systems Fangist Hotline. My man, how we feeling?
We're good. I will allow it for one time, one mulligan. But hey, we at least got it in yesterday on the impromptu visit. So
it's had to have happened to somebody where they do the walk-up music and there's just like technical difficulties and maybe somebody's song doesn't play. Listen.
Or they play like a Barbie song or something.
Or they play the wrong intro. That's happened before where they played someone else's intro and you're like, this isn't my music.
All right.
So if we didn't have the pitch clock, I wouldn't come up to bat. I would just stop and be like, nope, I'm not coming up till you get the right music.
All right, my brother, Logan Allen heard me. He heard me. I cut him. And this is what happens to me in fantasy. Is he coming back to haunt me? His last two starts have been impeccable, and now he goes again tonight. And guess what else I did? I just bet the under on his strikeouts at 4.5 because the Angels really don't K that much so against lefties. But give me a first little take on Logan Allen. Did I make a drastic mistake here?
I don't think. I mean, just prisoner of the moment tonight. I think the under is a nice play there, and I think the Angels are in a sneaky good spot because you mentioned it. They've been pretty solid against left-handed pitching, and on the flip side, Patrick Sandoval has been as good a starting pitcher that has not gotten enough love so far this year. So, kind of a sneaky spot here for, depending on what book you're looking at, it's probably right around -110, -115 for both sides there. So I would say that, if you're going to get them, this would be the spot where the Angels could try and trip up the Guardians. And I told you yesterday, and I'll tell Bids the same thing. This to me is that trap spot where you sweep the homestand, you get out to the West Coast, you feel really good, you go to the beach, you have a couple of pops, and you're feeling yourself, and then you come back to the yard tonight, and maybe you're a step behind, maybe you're a little lackadaisical, maybe a mental mistake or two. So I'm hoping I'm wrong, but if this is kind of that spot, been there, done that. I've seen this happen before, so let's hope that Logan Allen is continuing his good stuff in the offense. Here's the outlier, guys. The offense has given him like 8.5 runs of support per start. So
look who they've beaten, man. You 6-game winning streak, taking down Minnesota and then taking down the Yanks, and now you get two last place teams. I mean, Drek, the Angels, and then Colorado. And you think they better beware because you've been like, if they look at the schedule now and think like, man, we should just sweep through these as well.
Yeah, that's the thing is you're looking at not only L.A., but could be a look ahead to Colorado, who's just struggled mightily. And Colorado might be licking its wounds after the next 3 days because they got the Phillies for the next 3 days. So, I mean, you're talking about just not excited to come to the ballpark if you're a hitter thinking about the opposing staff you'll face. So got to take care of business tonight. Good thing is that the top of this lineup is really rolling. I mean, Freeman's been awesome. Jimenez, the big 3-run homer to catapult them back to win that series finale. Hosey's been unbelievable for the last week or so. Nails is the one guy you circle, and perhaps a great matchup for him tonight to break out. If not, it's one of those feast or famine things. Really good left-hander. Nails usually rises to the occasion, but the guy behind him has probably been swinging the hottest bat of anybody, and that's David Fry. So top 5 guys, 4 or 5 going well. Let's see if Nails can get off the schneid this road trip.
J-Lew, always good to talk to you. 50 games in. Let's say I told you at the beginning of the year the Guards would be sitting here at 33-17 while losing Shane Bieber after like 2 weeks. Your reaction would have been what, sir?
Yeah, I don't think I would have said you were in first place. And honestly, Bids, I think that there are 2 things that stand out. And I told AR this yesterday. The bullpen has been, they are your league leader. That's Major League Baseball. Your league leader, bullpen-wise, in ERA, whip, lowest walks per 9, lowest hits per 9 allowed, lowest homers per 9 allowed, and they're top 4 in strikeouts per 9. That's getting it done no matter if you score 2 runs, no matter if you score 20. And so the bullpen is a huge reason why they're able to be in this position. The other part is they're hitting the home run. Last year, they were dead last in homers. Already right now, top 10, top 11 as far as that goes. But the most important statistic, they're top 5 in runs. That has been the most drastic difference. Take Bieber out, take Quan out. It's a collective effort there offensively, and to be doing that with the consistency so far through 50 games, I think that's the thing that surprises me the most.
Well, let me take a little bit of a look ahead here then, because they are so good and they're on fire here. So you got to feel like they're going to improve this team or do whatever it takes. So are you kind of already bouncing around in your brain on the most likely player to be traded, or to find out how much they're going to buy here at the deadline, or what might happen?
I think the first domino that probably has to fall for me is how much improvement do we get from Kyle Manzardo between now and maybe July. I'll go the All-Star break, because I think we're pretty safe that unless he goes and do just an absolute tailspin, when Quan comes back, my early money is on Gabe Arias to get optioned down. There's no way that if Manzardo continues to produce, that you send him down. You just lengthen the lineup so much. Florial can come off the bench as an extra outfielder or utility guy. I think they're pretty solid with where Rocchio is. Freeman can also go in the infield, but they like to leave him in center. There's too many options for them to go there. So we'll see. And maybe they just say, you know what, Jonathan Rodriguez, you go back down when Quan comes up, just to keep Arias as a utility infield guy. But I think ultimately Manzardo is the real keystone of what possibly they may do on the position player side, if any. And this is the first year in quite a long time, guys, that they may be in the market. I don't think it's a frontline starter. It could be one of those number 3, maybe a high 3, low 2, mid 2, somewhere around there that could supplement with Bybee and McKenzie as long as those guys are healthy. I don't see them making the massive splash, but I think we learn a lot about this team in about a month with those 2 scenarios.
So the Guardians have been great through 50 games, going down I-71. The Reds have also played 50 games. They've been terrible, J-Lew, and I know the excuses with injuries and whatnot, but guys that are healthy, that are just playing like dreadful, like I don't know what's happened to like Jonathan India, for example, since his rookie year. There's a litany of guys who are just underachieving. Then you have the guys that are hurt. It feels like the Reds are dead in the water. I realize there's a lot of season left, but your take on the Reds so far?
Yeah, they miss Lightning Matt McClain so badly. And, I said on MLB Network Radio this morning, I said, you don't realize how big of a keystone that he is for lineup construction, but I think also morale. And he's just kind of a jump starter night in and night out with the way he plays. His dynamic when TJ Friedel and he are both healthy atop that lineup, it really was an igniter, and it allowed David Bell to have a lot lengthier lineup, putting Ellie De La Cruz at 3rd or 4th and going back and forth with Spencer Steer. You have the injury to Christian Encarnacion Strand, which doesn't help. 3 guys with CES, McClain, and Friedel that they were really banking on, I think, at the end of last year to say, okay, they're going to be significant contributors. And then again, it's just been the litany of pitching injuries, albeit they've actually been about league average, both starting and relieving. It's just the hitting. They're dead last in average. They're 20th in runs. They're 22nd in homers, and that probably is the one too. Playing at Great American Ballpark, right. It may change here, guys. But I mean, look at the next 3 series. You got the Dodgers with Buehler tomorrow, Paxton tonight, Yamamoto on Sunday. Then you got St. Louis, who all of a sudden is playing well. Then you got to go to Wrigley, and you're probably going to get Justin Steele in there at one point, and Javier Assad, who's actually pitched pretty well. So it's not like the going gets any easier for them the next 3 series to try and figure this thing out offensively.
Yeah. Their opening day starter has a 4.61 ERA right now. So
I wanted you to lie to me a little bit there, J-Lew. No,
I don't do that. No. As AR tells you, we are a truth serum operation
no doubt.
on Chin Music.
I appreciate that.
Absolutely, man.
We got to get the walk-up music for you. There we go.
Geez. Wait a minute. The walk-out music? Not the walk-up music?
Hey, better late than never, right?
Hey,
he just got the save.
J-Lew just got the save. They're playing you off.
He got the save. This is his walk-off music. Right. He got the save.
Good job, my man. Enjoy the weekend. Have a good holiday.
Talk to you guys next week.
Thanks, J-Lew.
See ya.
Playing him off.
That was right on cue, Ryan Baker.
We should probably do that more often when we have guests. Hey, when you hear the music, it's time to wrap it up.
If we can't bring you in, we'll walk you off.
Absolutely. Careful now. All right, we'll come back, tell the truth next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
We're your radio home for the Buckeyes, Browns, and all the NFL games you can handle. We may have a bit of a football problem. Oh, yeah? The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Billiards Plus has everything for the master griller in your house. Come to their showroom, open the lid, and feel the difference in their grills. Professional top-quality equipment at great prices with a huge selection ready to go home with you. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
The delicious ice-cold taste of Dr. Pepper has a lasting effect on people. Lindsay from Sacramento said,
Pro tip, 40 degrees is the perfect temperature for an ice-cold Dr. Pepper.
Why is 40 degrees the perfect temperature for Dr. Pepper? We brought in Sue from Duluth, Minnesota to tell us.
Oh, yeah, I know a thing or two about cold. Oh, that right there is the perfect kind of ice cold for Dr. Pepper. I'd share that with my friend Nancy. She likes Dr. Pepper, too, you know. My coldest...
All right, that'll be all, Sue. Having a perfect temperature for your Dr. Pepper? It's a Pepper thing. Inspired by real fan posts.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you. Discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at Hims, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
Now at UDF, buy 3 everyday favorites with UDrive Plus to quickly stack an extra 20 cents in gas savings. That includes Monster Energy and Red Bull and Gatorade and Body Armor. And that adds up. UDF, made for you. Specially marked products with an opted-in UDrive account.
The Buckeye Show.
I can still remember when my dad would have me put all of my pads on, like in Pee Wee football, and just ask me to hit him, like out in the yard.
The Buckeye Show.
Sponsored by Schottenstein Roofing and Care Source.
Weeknights at 6 on The Fan.
Hey, it's Bobby. When you have a large investment like a new roof, you want to work with a company you can trust. One with 30 years of experience and hundreds of 5-star Google reviews, 0 complaints with the BBB. That's Newman Roofing. So go check them out at newmanroofing.com or give them a call at 614-NEW-ROOF.
Grab life by the chicken fingers and savor the day with hand-battered, cooked-to-order chicken fingers, crispy crinkle-cut fries, buttery Texas toast, and that secret cane sauce that makes everything that much better.
Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. One love.
Hey, it's Anthony from my friends at Germain Honda of Dublin. You know what Rich is up to? He's got Memorial Day sales going all month long. Interest rates starting as low as 1.90% on the 2024s. The Civic LX sedan, the Accord LX sedan, and CRV LX two-wheel drives. And he's going to throw you an extra $1,000 for your trade. He wants to give you the best deal in town, and you will not be disappointed. Germain Honda of Dublin is my Honda dealer in Central Ohio, and hopefully yours on Sawmill Parkway just south of 270.
The standing room only, with all eyes on the 18th green.
There was some speed to this.
The sudden roars.
Gauged it just right.
That Sunday celebration.
From Oslo to Ohio, Victor Hovland is the champion.
It's better live. Join us at the Memorial Tournament presented by Workday, June 3rd through 9th. Visit memorialtickets.com today.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. We believe that every sport should be epic. Every basket, every game, every point, every play, from the moments that are legendary to the ones that fly under the radar, whether it's a three-pointer at the buzzer to tie the game or a player goes 2 for 2 at the foul line.
Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. 21 plus only, must be present in Ohio. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Tell the truth with Rothman and Ice.
Sponsored by Twin Peaks, home of the 29-degree draft beer.
All right, Bake, take us into the holiday weekend.
All right, guys, a happy 3-day weekend to all the people that get that 3-day weekend. Part of that weekend is, of course, tomorrow, Saturday, and tomorrow is National Wine Day. Tell the truth, are you in or out on wine?
National Wine Day, like me of the like it's too hot, that kind of thing?
No,
drinking
not
wine.
you whining, drinking
okay,
wine.
I just want to make sure it's National Wine Day.
How come it's National Wine Day?
Listen,
I'm whining about Wine Day.
About a bunch of grapes. Yeah, I mean, I'd like a glass of wine every now and then. I can't say I'm one of those people that, like, is some sort of a
connoisseur
or a sommelier or whatever they call the person that, do you have a corkage fee here? What is your cork? I don't think I've ever walked into a restaurant and said, what is your corkage fee? But I would say... Yes, I would probably be the weakling and probably go with more of a white wine than a red, but that's just me. So Pinot Grigio, I think, is the one that my
Pinot
dad would always,
Grigio.
yes, the driest of the wines.
Yeah, I'm getting with wine, but like it's not like my go-to. Have we ever had wine at the casino, Ryan? We've had other libations.
I don't think wine has ever joined
memory
the
might
list.
recall. So you can tell wine's not at the top of my list, but it's on the list.
The cheese, we'd like some cheese with that wine,
There you
I
go.
think is what he was asking.
You can't handle the truth. Guys, the other day, Ohio State, we saw them do their video with the players saying what their favorite uniform combination was with the Buckeyes. I think you guys did that yesterday, but it got me thinking, what is your, outside of Ohio State, what is your favorite sports uniform?
So it's interesting because logo is different than the uni. Like, I feel like,
Like the Milwaukee Brewers, the MB, I've always thought was cool with the baseball. It looks like a baseball mitt, but that's not
incredible.
that's not their
it's
uniform.
not a great uniform. It's a great logo.
Great logo.
Yeah.
I see. Yeah, that's a good point. It's not the same
Because
thing.
I feel like if I had to go back in time and re-choose a team just for the uniform, I'd probably go Raiders. Like, I'd probably go silver and black with the whole eye patch deal going. Like, I think that is a great top to bottom look. I don't think it's the greatest uniform, right? I mean, because depends what colors you like, right? I mean, I
think that's part of it.
Who has the best uni?
I'll probably go Cowboys. I was tempted to go with my Bengal. I do love
Very
I do
traditional.
love the Bengals uniforms. I really do, especially when they go white Bengal.
I thought you were going to say the Toronto Blue Jays. It's a good uniform.
It's a good uniform. It really is.
I thought you were going to
Not
pay
dog approved.
I thought you were going to pay homage to the Blue Jays.
Not
Keep the theme going.
The dead Blue Jays.
I don't think they have a bring your dog to the ballpark day.
They don't anymore. They've canceled it now at the
Or at least
Sky Dome.
At least your dog has been revoked.
My dog can't go. My dog's not even much bigger than the Blue Jay itself.
Though, by the way, Toronto has some unit. I mean, the Blue Jays and the Maple Leafs, like, those are quality. I mean, Blackhawks uniform is amazing, but
So you went Cowboys. What about you?
I went Raiders.
You did go Raiders?
Yeah, I'll go
okay,
Raiders.
for sure.
Yeah. What about you?
I like Raiders too, by the way. That's a good one.
I am, I don't know why this is. I'm very partial to the Tennessee Titans when they wear the light blue top and the dark blue pants. I just think that's really good.
You like a light blue top?
Yeah.
Cropped?
No crop.
Okay.
I mean, you had to like it when Eddie was there, right?
No doubt.
I did like it then. Drink.
Did you say I know my truth?
I know my truth.
Today's fan poll, guys, over at 971thefan.com. Of Ohio State football's road games this upcoming season, which one would you most want to attend? Michigan State, make the trip to Oregon, Northwestern at Wrigley Field, or Penn State?
I almost made fun of the question until you got to, because it's at Wrigley Field, it makes it a question. But it's still not really a question, right? It has to be Oregon. Never played there. They own Michigan State in East Lansing. They played Penn State over there a million times. And Oregon, by the way, has the second best odds to win the Big Ten behind only Ohio State. We might see them play twice this year, maybe 3 times. It's got to be at Oregon. Has to be.
Yeah, we talked about this earlier or last week, I think, where if you've never been to a baseball game at Wrigley, don't make the first trip to Wrigley a football game. Like, that would probably not be smart.
I agree.
Been there for many baseball games, so... listen, Eugene's amazing. I've been there. I've not been to a game. I was there for a wedding, ironically, of a friend of mine.
Phil Knight.
Eugene. Yes, exactly.
You have your Rolodex. You got Frank Caliendo in there, Phil Knight.
Yeah, and you can go to the
Colin Morikawa,
the Prefontaine store.
He ain't lying.
The Prefontaine, you know him.
All right, guys, this last one here. It is Memorial Day weekend. It's like the kickoff of cookout season. What is your perfect cookout plate?
Me first?
Go for it.
Okay, I need some type of steak, preferably a bone-in ribeye. I'm going to need those Johnsonville.
Give it to him on a paper plate.
Those Johnsonville sausages with the unbelievable cheddar cheese in the middle of. I think that's the exact name of the product. You got to get some of those Johnsonville sausages with the cheddar cheese in them.
Big plate.
I'm going to need some some corn on the cob and maybe some watermelon.
That's all on a double paper plate.
I mean, it's going to be on a real plate. We're not going to use a paper plate.
We're going to get the old wicker paper plate.
We're going to get the real deal Holyfield.
Yeah.
What about you, Anthony?
This is going to be
double salmon.
Double salmon. Yeah, no. I'll tell you what. Just give me a good turkey burger with some grilled onions and some barbecue sauce and some well done fries, some baked beans, and some corn on the cob, and just sit me in a corner and I'll be fine.
The truth shall set you free.
Bids, great to have you, my man. Outstanding. Have a good holiday weekend.
Same to you, my friend.
I'm doing the show. Bake, thank you very much. We hope you have an awesome, safe, outstanding holiday weekend. Conman and T-Bone will take you through the rest of the afternoon. Keep it locked here right on the Fan.
Wake up with the Fan. Eat lunch with the Fan. Go to bed with the Fan. Dream about the Fan. Then change your sheets. Gross.
Ew, you guys are gross, but stick around in case I don't find anyone else.
The Fan. This is a Fan Action Update.
This action update is brought to you by Tipico. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Under 15 weeks now until the start of the NFL season. Here's your updated NFL odds. The 49ers are the Super Bowl favorite at plus 550. Chiefs are 6-1. Ravens plus 950. And the Bengals are tied for the 4th best odds at 13-1 with the Lions and Bills. The Browns 40-1, which is tied for the 15th best odds. For your Tipico action update, I'm Scotty Vegas.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. I need you to listen up real quick. One of the largest manufacturers in the United States for CPAP machines recently announced they're suspending sales of all their breathing machines over problems with the devices. Millions of Philips Respironic ventilators and CPAP machines are being recalled now that they've reached a plea agreement with the FDA. That all doesn't sound good. And maybe you're thinking, yeah, that's why I'm not going to deal with my sleep apnea because I don't want to have a bulky CPAP. Well, this is where you need to call my guy, Dr. Mark Levy. Dr. Mark Levy has dedicated his practice to helping people who suffer from sleep apnea, and he can create a custom mouthpiece for you that stops your snoring and effectively treats your sleep apnea with no CPAP machine. Yeah, he's in network with most major medical insurers and is a Medicare provider too. This is Dr. Mark Levy's passion. He's been doing this a long time. He wants to help you with your sleep apnea and also make it so your partner doesn't want to murder you dead because you snore so much. So do what I did. Call Dr. Mark Levy today at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or book an appointment online at sleepbettercolumbus.com.
What's up, sandwich heads? Today on Steve-O's Sandwich Reviews, we've got the tips and tricks to the best sandwich order. And it all starts with this little guy right here. Pepsi Zero Sugar. Partial to pastrami, craving a cubano. Yeah, sounds delicious, but boom! Add the crisp, refreshing taste of Pepsi Zero Sugar and cue the fireworks. Lunch, dinner, or late night, it'll be a sandwich worth celebrating. Trust me, your boy's eaten a lot of sandwiches in his day, and the one thing I can say with absolute fact, every bite is better with Pepsi.
Save big money on your next flooring update. Now at Menards. Update your floors with Palmero vinyl plank flooring. It adds a stylish look to your home. Plus, it's durable, waterproof, and easy to install. It's on sale now through May 27. Save big money on our wide variety of flooring options in-store or online at Menards.com. For more great deals in our weekly flyer happening now at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
1-877 Cars for Kids. K-A-R-S Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Care Heating and Cooling. When you need a company you can trust, call 1-800-COOLING.
Open your door to a gorgeous Nature Stone garage floor. This is Paul Keels for Nature Stone. This month only, save up to 50% during their May is for Moms sales event. Schedule your free cost estimate today at naturestone.com. It's not just a floor. Wow, it's Nature Stone.